Every little thing that I said, I play it all back in my head. And every little thing that went wrong, I'd give it all to go back again. Every little thing that I said, I play it all back in my head. And every little thing that went wrong, I'd give it all to go back again. Hey! All day, all night, I'll be waiting for all the time. Through the pouring or the sunshine, I'll be waiting for all the time. Ooh, na 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 na. When I'm with you, all day, all night, I'll be waiting for all the time. Things that got the best of me, none worse than when you say it's all the time. My heart's forever broken, and that's why I'll be waiting for all the time. If I need
What happened?
What's going on, everybody? How we doing out there in the twilight hours of November 19th, 2024? We are here. Dave, what is going on?
Hello. Nothing much. Just hanging out, Looking on Twitter, honestly, just for any new thing that pops up.
Because Twitter is the news source now.
Basically.
There is no other news source. Dave, how are you? You are going to leave us again for another few days after this?
2 days. I work Wednesday and
days.
Thursday. Yep.
So you'll be gone for another 2 days. So we'll have
Yep.
you tonight. We'll have a good time.
Mhm.
We're probably going to cruise through a little bit tonight because it is almost midnight. I do have work at some point tomorrow.
Yes.
So we are going to try to cruise as much as we can. So I'm going to keep my preamble real quick. Epstein client list. Of course, we
Mhm.
got to keep on pushing to get that exposed. Any favorite streamers outside of us, make sure you're yelling at them to talk about it more, because the more it's talked about, the more likely it is to get let out. Keep on remembering the victims of Helene and Milton. They are, still trying to pick up the pieces. We saw in that post the other day that there's a lot of things being donated to them, but they always need more because they're living out of hotels. I saw a tweet I think today or yesterday that this person was like, they're just, my child needs a generator because he's diabetic or something. Like they needed something where a generator was necessary, and FEMA denied him a generator and gave him a hotel room. So it was like, they need things. So if you can help out in any way, donate. Keep donating to Moms for Liberty. They do great work, and they had some big wins. So let's just keep on going and donating to them. Keep on talking about FEMA passing up Trump houses. That is something they need to get to the bottom of. If it was just a lie, whatever. If that was just for show, but they need to figure out what the hell happened there. And lastly, don't let up after the victories in November, earlier this month. We have to continue, find out what the next election is, get involved. If you need to figure out primary candidates, get them going, because especially for congressional houses, because Elon's, I think it's a Freedom Pack or whatever he has, said that if there are any bad congressmen or senators and you find the primary opponent, he will put money from that pack towards it. So definitely go do that. Dave, I ran through it. Let's get started.
Yeah, sorry. I'm watching the Minecraft trailer as you're talking, and it's bad, dude. It's fucking bad.
Maybe
But
we can add that. Maybe we can add that
no,
later.
we won't add it because I don't even know if we'll get hit for it or not. But we'll start off with the Jets because they decided to make some news today. They
freaking
fired
suck, man.
Joe Douglas. Awesome. Now, this is actually to be quite expected, especially, no playoffs this season. He's had plenty of time. His record's not good.
Yeah.
I thought this roster was really good.
We all did.
It should have been something, but it wasn't. And that still falls on Joe Douglas, just as it falls
100%.
on Robert Saleh.
Yep.
So this was an earned firing.
Mhm.
And now we're in complete rebuild mode. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, I thought that, in the end, I thought that Douglas was one of the more competent GMs we had since Tannenbaum. He really was. I actually liked a lot of his moves. I think he tried a lot of things. I think he gave a real effort to, upgrade the line and things like that. But there are times when things don't work out. We were all pumped when we got Aaron Rodgers. Like, that was a big deal. It was something we thought was going to be real good, but sometimes you have good intentions and you do make what you believe is the right moves, and it just doesn't work out. And I think that was a situation with Douglas. I don't think he's a bad GM.
Mhm.
I don't think he's an incompetent person. I just think that he was the GM of the Jets. And he's going to go on. He's going to, he'll probably go back to being an assistant GM somewhere because this is an all-time failure. Like, this is bad.
Yes. And
This is really freaking bad.
like you said, he
But-
went and got Rodgers, but he also went and got Tyron Smith to try to shore up the left tackle
And Tyron
position.
Smith has fallen off a cliff. And maybe
And
we
he's been
should have
terrible
known-
this year.
Maybe we should have known when the Cowboys are willing to give up on him so easily.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
But you go out and you get that guy. That's a chance you're willing to take. He drafted Olafashanu, who's been good. He's been probably like the bright spot, Olafashanu, of the team. Joe Simpson was a really good upgrade.
John Simpson.
John Simpson, sorry.
Mhm.
John Simpson was an upgrade. Like, he's been one of the best guards in the league.
Mhm.
So he's done good things. Obviously, getting Sauce Gardner. DJ Reed has been a fantastic pickup. Michael Carter II over
Mhm.
at slot is one of the best slot nickel corners in the game.
Mhm.
Getting Quincy Williams was fantastic. Like, he's done some really good things, like drafting Will McDonald. Like, there's a lot that he's going to get credit for. I'm not necessarily going to give him credit for, Garrett Wilson and Sauce, and those two are surefires, right? You never know, but those guys,
Yeah.
Brees Hall, he gets all the credit for. He got
Yeah.
so much criticism for going and running and getting Brees.
Yeah, but he also missed on some big picks. I mean, look at Mekhi. Look at Mekhi Becton. We thought he was going to be really damn good, but it just did not work out at all.
Look at Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And I mean, in Zach Wilson, everyone got enamored by one throw in shorts, right? And that's honestly what it was. One throw in shorts, everyone gets enamored by. So it's like he had his hits.
I will say this. I don't think it was just that throw. I think that's a crazy narrative. I think they actually just liked his ability in general and just thought his athleticism would be able to garner a lot. But I also think that it was a bad choice for the offense that Saleh and them were. Maybe with LaFleur, it could have been fun, but I feel like it was still a bad choice for the offense they were trying to run.
Yeah.
It was weird because
you had a West Coast guy that needed to be accurate in short game, and that was the biggest glaring weakness.
You had someone that was going to be the high, like he might not be high accuracy, but he was going to make the big plays, and he wasn't going to. That was the purpose of it, and that was really what his archetype is. But it just didn't make sense for the offense that we were going to run, or at least that Saleh and LaFleur wanted to run. It was weird. But that's honestly where I think they really went wrong with the Wilson pick is you pick him in the wrong scheme because someone wants to go for him to go for the high, like the Josh Allen type of guy, Aaron Rodgers type of guy. That's what you're going for. But why would you pick him for that type of offense? It doesn't make much sense there.
I will give a little bit of defense of Joe Douglas there. Every other quarterback in that field fucking sucked in that draft. Like Trevor Lawrence turned out to be bad. Justin Fields sucks.
Yes.
So it's like it doesn't matter who they went with. They were never going to have a starting, franchise quarterback. So you can kind of fall back on that. Didn't matter who they got.
That's true. But like I said, it was
Trevor Lawrence probably would have been better.
Well, we weren't going to be able to get him. We weren't going to be able to get him.
No, we weren't because he was going to go number one. And Fields sucks. Like, I don't care if Fields. I don't know why everyone continues like give Fields a chance. He could be good. Fields is bad. Like, Fields is objectively he is a D- Lamar Jackson in the style that he plays. Like
I don't absolutely hate Justin Fields, but I do think it's an insult to Lamar to compare Justin Fields to Lamar.
What I'm saying is D-
in any type of way.
He's D- because they try a similar style.
Fucking crazy.
Agreed. So I want to go real quick. Nate G, what up? Yep. I want to make sure you know that we see you, Nate. Late show. What a night already, Alex. And then he also says, turns out another Nate was arguing with Rob last night, although Rob did throw a little shade my way for throwing roses at Alex Villanueva. The book on Fields is not done yet. 10 tutties to Nate. Justin Fields is a bad quarterback, okay? I'm sorry. He's not a good. Can you win some games with Justin Fields? Yeah, he has athletic ability. He's good with his legs. He cannot stand and deliver in the pocket. And the one thing you learned with Lamar has learned to stand and deliver.
I do think, though, that him right now in the position he's in with the Steelers, with Russell there, under Tomlin, he has the ability to become a good quarterback being in that environment.
If you can't be good under Tomlin and that system and that discipline and that the Steelers have, you can't be good anywhere.
Well, that's the thing, though. He was actually performing better than he was on the Bears and on the Steelers. He was.
He certainly was.
So that's what I'm saying. He's in an environment where he can become better than what he's looked like. 110%. He is.
So he's number 17 in the league in starting quarterbacks instead of being number 31. That's a great improvement, but you're still not a good quarterback.
Okay,
Okay, like you're still not a good quarterback.
But what? Yeah, but either way, I'm just saying it takes him from being, just kind of really either journeyman or out of the league to someone that can actually provide some kind of value in a way.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll see what happens too,
Yes.
because like we saw Caleb Williams playing better early in the season, and now that and here's the thing that I
Well, no, he
always
played
say,
awful early in the season. He was
but
started playing better, but the Bears are also not exactly great at what they're doing.
but on top of that though, what people discount all the time what a defensive coach can do once he has film on you. College
Mhm.
film doesn't count, right? The college it doesn't like you're a man amongst boys in college, right?
Yep.
Once they get pro film on you and they start to see your tendencies, how you respond to certain schemes, they now can eat you. And that's what we're also seeing with Caleb Williams, that there's game film on him and the decent coordinators are able to lock in, see what he does bad. And as a rookie, it's hard to overcome when they're starting to hit you in your weak points. When
Mhm.
you become a veteran, if you're an established quarterback, you already know what your weakest points are. So
Mhm.
you know how to protect against them. You move protections to help you. You will do certain things, and the offensive coordinator will base that offense around your weaknesses and strengths, right?
Yes.
The Bears didn't know his weaknesses and strengths, really. Like, they really don't know yet. We're all finding out together. But D coordinators pick that shit out real quick, and
Yeah.
they're going to expose it.
I
And
I
that's
do
it.
think I do think Caleb is actually going to be fine with some of the stuff he's shown.
And Nate,
Yeah. It's saying Rich Gannon was 37 when he won MVP. The book is not closed. That's
Rich
true.
Gannon also should have been to a Super Bowl if it wasn't
Book
for the stupid fucking tuck rule.
the book is never closed.
Zach Wilson's got a chance too then. So, hey, listen. This
Well,
is the thing.
look, being honest though, he is also in a good environment that could improve your play. That he is. You're under Sean Payton. Like the guy knows what he's doing with QBs. If he has a chance to
And not
become
being
good.
on the Jets,
Yeah,
honestly,
well,
because you look at
yes.
Eugene Smith, you look at Sammy D over in Minnesota. It's like Sam Donald's come back down to earth a little, but he's still playing good football. But he had a
Yes.
pretty good weekend again this weekend. So it's like not being on the Jets is also a good secret sauce, because Aaron Rodgers is going to leave the Jets next year, and Aaron Rodgers is going to go win an MVP and go to the Super Bowl. Like Alex Smith took 45 years to get into a groove.
Yes.
Alex Smith's a different case though, because Alex Smith as a rookie showed more poise. Even though he didn't play great, he still had poise. He was overpicked. He shouldn't have been a number one pick, but Alex Smith knew when to use his athleticism, because people forget that the year before Alex Smith got replaced by Cap officially, I remember Dave, I don't know if you were with us when we walked to Atlantic City. We were going to a show, and it was when the Giants and 49ers were in a playoff game. And I think Alex Smith ended up making this one incredible, like 37, 40-yard run, scamper. And people forget how athletic Alex Smith actually was. He
No,
was
no,
that guy.
he was actually crazy athletic.
Very athletic. And he was that guy that he quite literally preferred to be a statue. That was his
Yes.
actual game.
Yeah.
But if he needed to move, the guy had legitimate like 4.5 speed. It wasn't like
Mhm.
he was a slow guy. And when he got moving, and now listen, the Niners moved on to Colin Kaepernick, who was like 4.3 guy.
Which,
Colin Kaepernick
but
got
that
going.
was off hype though, because
It was
Colin came in and he performed damn well against the Saints in that playoff game, won it for them, and
Colin
he had
was
a
pretty
good year.
He had a good year.
But it was off hype because he gave you that hype and then he regressed. Alex Smith stayed consistent, even got better.
And then when
So
he got hurt, he came back and had another few good years for the Redskins when he
Yeah,
came back
exactly.
off the injury.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing is like Colin had a lot of hype behind him, and and it was mostly his physical ability that got shit done because he wasn't that great of a passer.
And he was
While
the same
Alex-
guy at Nevada.
Yeah, exactly.
Same guy.
But that's the thing and he could never progress as a passer. So once your physical ability gets clamped down on by these defensive coordinators, you're
Mhm.
screwed unless you actually develop.
He never shortened up that motion, and that was his big issue.
Mhm.
Colin Kaepernick had a massive motion for his
Mhm.
pass, and it took a while. Where you see the best quarterbacks, you see the way Aaron Rodgers, he's still not throwing the ball great this year, but you could still see that skill where the ball just snaps out of his hands.
Yes.
Michael Vick had it.
Mhm.
Mahomes has it. Josh Allen has it. Like, they don't have these elongated motions.
Lamar has it.
Who?
Lamar has it.
Lamar's that thing the
Uh-huh.
long ball. And here's the thing though. Lamar came in with a really, really, really shitty throwing motion. He
Mhm.
always had a good deep ball.
Mhm.
But his throwing motion was another one that was on elongated motion.
Yeah.
I give Lamar Jackson a ton of credit because I thought he was going to fail. I called him for the longest time a running back with an arm. He has
Yeah.
turned into a quarterback.
Dude, let's be honest.
He's
This
fantastic. He
this
worked his
year,
ass
he's probably the best QB this year. To be
Last-
quite
he
honest
did-
with
he
you,
did terrible this past week. But
yes, but
that's
that's
in a
one
division
week.
game, and
That's 1
against
week. The
Steelers
rest
who
of the
they always
year, he's
battle.
been fucking incredible, dude.
Oh, he should win the
The
MVP
Ravens
again.
defense hasn't been as good as it has been.
He should win the MVP again. And the rise of Zay Flowers 100% helps.
And
'cause
Derrick
this is a
Henry being back
and
there
Derrick
helped.
Henry eating everything. But the thing is, like, but you have Zay Flowers, who's a legitimate one. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
the last time Bateman has been like his best receiver the last
Yeah,
few years,
Bateman's
and
on
he
a one.
sucks.
Yeah,
But I want to get to Nate G's comments here. Chad Pennington was a stud for the Jets. Yes,
was.
Super Chad was amazing.
it was.
Love Chad. After his injury, I thought he came in and tried to prove that he could throw the ball hard. And I think that was kind of his downfall because he hurt himself again.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember Quincy Carter, did he start for the Jets? Yes, unfortunately. Quincy Carter started for the Jets. That man had so much hype though. When he got drafted by the Cowboys, and he had a ton of hype for the Cowboys, and he looked good for a little bit and left them, limped over to the Jets. And I think he played, might have been when Vinny Testaverde got hurt one of those times. Chad wasn't the backup yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Brooks Bollinger because I think Quincy got hurt. And then
Brooks Bollinger is a
came in.
crazy name.
And
I
Brooks
haven't heard
Bollinger
that name in a
just had
long
fucking-
time.
And I remember he had an arm cannon. And he came in a backup stint and automatically just came in, three-stepped and threw a fucking bomb to like Lavernius Coles or
Mhm.
Dietrich Ward, one of those guys. And everyone and their mother was like, we found him. We got our diamond in the rough. And then he started next week, went like 11 of 37, 3 interceptions and a touchdown. And we're just like, not the guy.
Yeah.
He flashed. Parcells took him to the playoffs. I mean, yeah, like Parcells is Parcells, man.
Mm-hmm.
Parcells, the big tuna was great for a reason. But there's sometimes where you wonder if it's the coach or the players. Parcells proves it's the coach because he went from the Giants to the Patriots to the Jets,
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Well,
Like,
and-
he was good everywhere.
Yeah.
He was just a good coach everywhere. It was the coach, not the players with Parcells.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, is that it.
Yeah,
Quincy was my guy as a team.
He was a
That's
good
pretty
player,
sweet.
especially a
Yeah.
great college player. Hell of a college player.
But the thing is, it's difficult because there are times where it's just a coach. There's times where it's just a player for the most part. But a lot of times it is the right player with the right coach.
You have to align them
Because-
together.
Yes, because look at Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Both are good. Both will be fine, but without each other.
Mhm.
But them together makes it a masterpiece.
The
That's
fabulous.
what makes
You
it
make
great.
Me better. You make me better. But I mean, you look at Andy Reid though, and it definitely has to do with his offensive scheme as well. Because
That's what I'm
there's
saying,
no
though.
reason why the Eagles didn't win a championship with Donovan McNabb, right?
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb had all the talent. He's a Hall of Famer. He had all the talent to win a championship. Like he's a name that people forget, but Donovan McNabb was one of the best quarterbacks of the '90s, and it's not close.
Mhm.
He's up there in the top 10 quarterbacks with all those great quarterbacks of the
Yes.
'90s. You knew you had a chance when McNabb was throwing the football.
Yeah.
And even though he made a lot of big mistakes, that was his big thing. He would make big mistakes, but he was really freaking good.
Mhm.
He had good running backs behind him and everything. But in the year that they had Terrell Owens, they should have won. They honestly, they should have won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, they're right there.
They were so freaking good. And T.O., I think, had 11 catches in the Super Bowl. Like
Theo was hurt.
He was playing on, I think he was playing on a broken leg.
Yeah,
And
he was very hurt.
He
Yeah,
was very hurt, and he just
Yeah.
did not give a shit.
he went
like,
crazy. Yeah,
He went crazy, gave it his all. They should have won, but Andy Reid, I'm happy that he has this arc. Like, as much as people hate the Chiefs, hard to hate Andy Reid because Andy Reid has just always done it the right way, and he is the
Mhm.
best pump, pass, and kick video in the history of man, where he is the same size as he is now as like a
Mhm.
14-year-old.
Mhm.
All right, so let's jump in.
Well, hold up. Nate said Parcells are the only good coach Tony Romo ever had. Jerry's fired. Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and Bill Parcells. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, Jerry's Jerry. You disagree with Jerry, he's gonna get rid of you.
yeah, but I mean,
That's it. That's it. There's no other.
But it is showing, man. Like, it only works when it works, right?
Yeah.
So it's showing right now with the Cowboys. For me, I thought their championship window was closed a good bit ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why people still thought they had a chance this year. Maybe I was downplaying them, but especially making no moves didn't really help. But that's the thing and that's why, he's the owner, but he has to relinquish some of these things at some point in order for them to actually win.
I think a few things really hurt them. I think Tony Pollard not being as good as they thought he was going to be last year hurt them because they got rid of Zeke and they thought Tony Pollard was going to be the bell cow, and he wasn't. Obviously CD being hurt for part of it. whatchamacallit getting hurt, Diggs getting hurt last year, hurt their chances. But then the head scratcher of getting rid of Amari Cooper. I still don't understand that move.
Well,
Why wouldn't you two platoon Cooper and CD and just have a absolute freak of nature dominance? Like, you figure that out, right? You at least give him a few years of run. You don't just trade Cooper. I thought that was the biggest boneheaded move, and I never understand the infatuation with, we have a great quarterback, let's give him no one. I never understand that infatuation. Where because Dak is he's been statistically one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL since he's gotten in. And I never understand the thing where it's like, we have such a good quarterback. Let's give him guys that nobody's ever heard of and hope he makes some household names. Like CeeDee Lamb's the only guy anybody cares about on that offense right now. Ferguson's injured, and Ferguson's okay, right?
Yeah.
Who else scares you?
No one really.
Dowdle?
Yeah.
Fuck, like, nobody scares you.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going
No,
to do?
it's rough, and it's just weird to watch happen. And we're basically getting onto another owner, which is kind of not helping his team in any way.
Well, really quick, I want to say his Suns are even worse. They have no cap all offseason. They signed Lamb and Prescott, frees up $20 million, and now $20 million of cap space is burning a hole in the pocket 1 week before the regular season. Yeah, listen. They got to hire a real GM at some point there.
Yes, like you would think.
But then
you
again,
would think.
Does hiring a GM help, Dave? Because the Jets have had like 9.
Well, obviously, you don't know if everything's going to work out, but you can't okay, it is proven that this is not working. It's not working. No. You need to do something. You need to do something a little different here. Hiring someone like that would probably help. But we have this story that also broke today because Douglas being fired was not enough for the Jets stories today.
And surprising that it happened now. I'm not gonna lie. I am surprised that Douglas. I figured they would wait till the end of the season to fire him.
Yeah, but I guess
past the trade deadline or something.
But I guess they want to start the GM hunt. I don't know.
They're probably going to be sellers at this point at the deadline.
Yeah. But Diana Rossini and Zach Rosenblatt went together for this article in The Athletic, and I did not pull the article up because I really don't care about the whole thing. But it says, after losing to Denver, Woody Johnson suggested in a contentious meeting that they bench Rodgers because he felt the QB wasn't playing well. The coaches pushed back and asked each other if he was serious.
So here's the thing, too, and I want to caveat with this. Aaron Rodgers has gone on record to say that Diana Rossini knows nothing about him. So, and that was during like the whole like Darkness episode when they were like making decisions. He's coming to the Jets.
Yes.
And Aaron Rodgers made it very apparent on Pat McAfee that Diana Rossini knows nothing. McAfee. He doesn't talk to her. So, Diana's not a bad reporter. I'm not saying anything about Diana as a reporter. All reporters get things wrong. So I'm not burning her for anything she's gotten wrong. Everyone has sources. You go with the ones you trust. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if I trust her. I like Zach Rosenblatt. Zach Rosenblatt's pretty good on
I just find it just feels like it would be weird timing.
Yes.
After losing to Denver, they were 2-2. It was a bad loss, no doubt, but they were 2-2. And the guy's just coming off a season where he tore his Achilles and he's 40-something years old. Yep. So it's weird that Woody, who is so excited for this, would do that.
And in that game, it wasn't just Rodgers. If I could tell, Rodgers was just missing everything. It was Garrett Wilson. That was one of his worst games of his career. He was not on the same page as Rodgers at all. I don't think Mike Williams is back yet that game. So Alan Lazard's your number 2.
Yeah,
Brees was in that little funk at the time.
And so the line couldn't fucking do anything.
It was the perfect storm of a bad game.
The whole... I'm not saying that this is not a possibility. I'm just saying it feels like it would be a weird timing for Woody to do that. I don't know why exactly. Like, Woody just hasn't been that trigger happy on things before, especially not something like this.
Yeah, if you were to tell me what happened after this week, I'd believe it. That Woody's down there going, all right, guys, listen, we're 3-8. Pull the plug.
Yeah.
Sit him down. We're not doing something. He's playing terrible. Maybe we can get a spark going. I'm demanding he sits now as the owner.
And
I understand that, actually.
Nate saying Gruden, Vrabel, Ben Johnson. There's people that can work with the Jets roster. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
There's always the possibility that there's people that can work with the Jets roster. I like those names.
With Barstool. I don't think he's coming back to coaching. He just signed that 4-year mega deal with Barstool.
That's true. That's
I
true.
don't think Gruden. I think Gruden's name is out of coaching. I
Yeah.
would love to have seen John Gruden.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic.
Mhm.
But that deal with Barstool, you're not going away from that.
Yes. But yeah, no, this dropped today, and this was pretty big. It was everywhere.
Yeah, I saw it a few times.
We have it titled that the Jets are a circus again, and they are.
They are.
But it like this whole thing is weird, and we've had some people comment on it. Someone who I like and I follow, Chris Mano right here. There was zero chance reports of Woody Johnson pushed for Aaron Rodgers benching in week 4 at 2-2 off a torn Achilles. It's literally laughable. If you believe that, please turn in your football discussion privileges and shut down Twitter.
Yeah, and the thing is, you got to take it all with a grain of salt, right? Like, you got to really, like, there's a race to get things out there, right? When it comes, especially in the social media sphere and doing this stuff. And all the reporters are guilty of it, right?
Yep.
So it's like, again, I don't blame Zach and Diana for putting this report out. How accurate it is, I don't know. They're not Manish Mehta level, but this is feeling Manish Mehta-ish in a way.
Well,
no one's Manish Mehta level. Manish Mehta was the worst reporter in the history of man.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say,
I'm happy that man is in obscurity. Nobody knows. That guy doesn't have a fucking job in journalism at all, I hope.
Well, he actually does. I think he's been shit talking JD today.
Wait, Manish Mehta exists?
Yes.
Hold on, let me see what this fucking guy has been saying.
I'm pretty sure I saw NYJ Matt say quote tweeting some of his stuff or reply some of his stuff. It's pretty funny actually.
But like, where does he work for anybody?
Yeah, I think he does actually work for someone.
How is he not just in a mailroom?
I just remember seeing the name. I can't necessarily remember right now. But this whole thing is weird. And yet again, I did bring up NYJ Matt, and he said something. He said multiple things about this. But if this meeting actually occurred to bench Rodgers when the Jets were literally 2-2, Saleh Douglas are now gone, meaning we should all assume Tyrod Taylor is starting next week since Woody is calling the shots. Also, if this meeting actually happened, there is a 0.0000% chance Aaron Rodgers is returning. And I do happen to agree with that. If this meeting happened, if Woody already showed that kind of concern with Rodgers at 2-2, then I do think there is a very small possibility of Rodgers returning next season.
And Connor Hughes, actually, who, I like Connor. I think Connor's actually one of the better beat reporters around. He's balances both the Giants and the Jets masterfully. I don't know how the fuck he does that. But Connor has flat out said Aaron Rodgers is not coming back. And Connor usually has pretty good sources inside the organization. And he was one of the people that was better on the whole entire Rodgers sweepstakes. When is he coming? Is he not coming? He was pretty good on all of that in terms of staying at a level playing field. He was never too high until it was going on. So I trust a lot of what Connor Hughes says. And Connor Hughes has flat out said Aaron Rodgers will not be a New York Jet next year. The Rodgers experiment is over.
Which is not surprising because, look, Saleh and Douglas are now gone. You've basically punted on this whole experiment. It's done. It's fully gone. So at this point, it's just like, okay, Rodgers, we thought it would turn out better. To be quite honest, no one expected Achilles last year. That fucking sucks.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Rodgers is going to stay because you know who our next head coach is next year.
Who?
Mike McCarthy.
No, it's not.
Because
I don't think Rodgers I don't even think Rodgers likes Mike McCarthy, dude. I
don't know. He just brings everyone he knows.
Yeah, but I don't think he likes Mike McCarthy. But
so real quick, Broncos are an actually good team. Turns out Sean Payton is a good coach still.
But at the time we lost to them, Bo Nix started balling out recently.
He was awful.
He was not good at that
60
time.
60 yards of passing.
Yes, and while their defense is still good, that was right after we just destroyed the Patriots. So there was no reason. Yeah, there was no reason. It looked like our offense was finding its flow, and it looked like that we should be a kind of a juggernaut playoff type of team after that Patriots game. So that's what made that loss so bad. Right now they're actually a good team. We can see the Broncos are actually pretty good. They might even get a playoff spot.
I think they are, and they're dangerous if they do.
Yeah.
Nate says, isn't Rodgers a $40 million cap hit if he's not back with the Jets? I don't know because I know they're trying to renegotiate part of his contract, or they were. Don't know where that's going to go now. But I think he has an opt-in or opt-out. I think it's a player option. So we'll find out what he wants to do. Now, here's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers wants to come back to the Jets next year, he's more than likely going to come back. I will say that. If he wants to come back, now the possibility of Rodgers getting traded is high as well. Because if you're a team that's looking and you're like, we're a quarterback away from being good. You're going to take a flyer on Rodgers, right? You will take a flyer on Aaron Rodgers. So
And I will say this, and people might hate me for it because of how this year's gone. But if you're doing a rebuild and you're getting the head coach and you're getting a GM in, depending on
You
how
should
they're
get rid of
feeling,
Rodgers.
obviously, and you're going to get a young QB, you're going to try to draft someone. I'm actually perfectly fine with Rodgers staying another year
Yeah.
in order to play out the year. Now, I don't know if that's his wishes, but in order for him to play out the year and actually give time for a rookie QB to sit.
Now, it
That
depends on who it is, too.
Yes, but I'm just saying it depends on, the discretion of the GM and the head coach. There's a lot that goes into it, but for me, I'm fine with him staying another year in order for our rookie QB to actually get some time under his belt in the NFL.
Now, how bad are we trying to be? Are we trying to lose out the rest of the year and get the number 1 pick?
I
Are
don't
we
think we
trying to
have a
go after-
choice.
We're trying to go after Shador
I think with
or
how
Ward?
I think with how this team plays, we're going to lose a very large amount of games still.
So, who are you? If you're looking in the college sphere, Shador actually just had a really nice game this past weekend.
Yeah,
Shador's
I
really
think-
good. Cam Ward's really good. At Miami, he's balling out. You have obviously Ewers over in Texas.
And yet again, and maybe
Pretty
this
good QB class right now.
it's an all right QB class,
Yeah.
for a lot of it. But for me, like I mentioned before, it all depends on who you're bringing in, what type of scheme they're bringing in, and whether or not they're actually going to fit it and be able to actually run the offense well.
Yeah.
That's what matters to QBs. That's legitimately what matters. Because if they're not put in the right situation, they're not going to play up to the level that they're
You know
supposed
what,
to.
Dave? The tent is up. Draft Shador.
I'm fine with I like Shador. I think
like
Shador is
Shador,
really pro
But
ready.
it's gonna bring the circus because Dion's gonna be very vocal if the
Well,
Jets fuck him.
we've had him on the show, Matt Santos. He wants Dion and he wants Shador. He's like, fuck it. He's like, Dion wants to win. He wants to prove himself. So why not?
I feel
I don't disagree with it.
I feel like the Jets are gonna be on his no-fly list though, because
They might be.
Dion already
So-
said
well-
he's gonna have a list of teams that Shador's
Well,
not going to.
The thing is, though, is that Dion, he wants the glory, right? So what other team do you get that fucking glory than if you actually win with if you win
Dallas.
with the Jets?
Dallas. He can go back to Dallas. He can go to Atlanta if Atlanta ever gives up. Those are his teams.
Atlanta's but
Atlanta's gonna stick with their.
but you
coach
don't
now.
get as much glory. I will give you Dallas. You don't get as much glory with Atlanta. The Dallas and the Jets. Those are the two teams where you probably get the most glory for actually winning with them in this league.
And he might have the option with Dallas because McCarthy
might.
may be on his
No,
way out.
He legit might,
And you
but
bring Prime back there. That's awesome.
yeah, and I'll give you that one's a good contention.
That's a storybook.
Yes, but I'm perfectly fine with Shador. I think
Yeah. Oh,
Shador
yeah.
can be a damn good NFL QB.
I'm actually fine with either of the top 3 right now because I like what I see out of yours. I think Ward, the ACC isn't as strong as it normally is, but at Miami, he's you can only win and you can only play who's in front of you, right?
Exactly.
And
you can't do it. You can't do
and
anything
it's not
about
that just
that.
he's winning; he's dominating people. I get it. People are like Miami's getting lucky. Yeah, yes, they've gotten lucky in a lot of ways. But it's not because Cam Ward's playing bad. It's not like he's playing like shit or he's playing average. He's playing Heisman football.
Yeah.
I'll look up his numbers while you kind of
Yeah. Well, Nate
real quick.
Nate coming in saying, is Brees Hall going to a Shador concert? Possibly. You never know. And he's also saying Dallas is looking at us and JT, T-Mac and Travis Hunter before Shador. I mean, that makes some sense. I'm fine with that. If we can land Shador, if we can land one of those, I'm fine with it.
So let Cam Ward this season so far, 3,494 yards. Here, I'll actually share the screen. I have the ability to do that. We have a streaming service that allows me to do things. So, I'm very big. I don't.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm doing it.
There you go.
So there's Cam Ward, 3,494 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks, 89.4 QBR. I mean, and let's see,
it's a pretty good year. It's a pretty good year.
And the recent games, they just lost to Tech.
Georgia. Yep.
He was 25 of 39, 348, 3 touchdowns, no picks. They didn't lose because of Cam Ward, okay, guys? I mean, he played pretty damn well. 25 of 41 against Duke in a game they won. 400 yards. The completion percentages concern me a little.
Mhm.
You know, you're low on the completion. You want to see it
Mhm.
closer to 69, 68, 70. But I mean, 5 touchdowns and 1 pick. Like you can't ask Florida State, worst team in college football. I fucking hate them. But you know, right there, 22 of 35, 208, and it's because they didn't need him to throw anymore, right?
Mhm.
Again, these are the last 5 games. And then you look at rushing, he's not really a big runner, guys. He's a pocket
Yep.
passer. So it's like you get that traditional guy. Now, let's actually go and we'll compare real quick to what Shador has done. And I
Yes.
cannot spell his name.
I want to watch this happen. I can't wait. Oh, you got it.
I know I got it because
Why didn't you just look it up in there though? You were on the website.
Bing helped me out. I don't know. Shador, 3,222 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, 76. So the numbers aren't as good, but mind you, Colorado's not as good of a football team as Miami. So I'm not going to hold it against him there. I mean, he's already almost passing his numbers from last year, which was his breakout year. And he's doing it better. He has a 72.9 completion percentage. Last year, he had a 69.3. That's more of a completion percentage you want to see.
Yeah, that's a thing. There's something about Shador is like really fucking cold. Like he feels fine in high pressure situations.
Now, mind
you could see it on him.
He has Travis Hunter. He has Joe Horn Jr. And I forget the other kid's name.
Yeah, 110%.
That are number ones on every other team in the country.
110%.
So that helps.
But when you watch him, like he's accurate as fuck.
Oh my God. He and his footwork is good. He knows when to move out of a pocket. And here's the thing too. He's throwing NFL numbers with 41 attempts, 43 attempts, 30, 33, 40, and putting up big numbers. And his touchdown to interception ratio is good. You know, Utah's supposed to be a pretty good team. They're having a down year, but the Utes are typically a decent team. They destroyed them. Texas Tech was a showdown game. Texas Tech, I think, was 8-2 when they came in, and they were 7-2.
Yeah,
beat the shit out of Tech
good
at Tech. 41-2. Here's the thing: I talk shit about Colorado because their defense has been awful. They played a lot better this year. Their defense has stepped up.
They played incredibly better. Are you kidding me?
Significantly better. That offensive line is better. I do give credit to Deion Sanders for his recruiting. You can't be mad about it. And you look at it right here. They're right underneath BYU. They're 6-1 in conference with them, 8-2 overall, 9-1 over here. I'm looking at the bottom right here. And it's like, they're playing good football. And if Colorado can climb, there's potential they make a chance at getting into the playoff.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you get Shador Sanders into the playoff, that could be fun.
Yeah. And you know everyone's going to be watching that game. Also, Nate's saying, I think Quinn Ewers is the guy of the class. I'll put him in, make sure. Is a guy of the class, but feel the class as a whole is a little weak. Yeah, other than the top 3, who else is up? Well,
Quinn
he was hurt.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So we're looking at it. And
look at his 2023 as well.
And yeah, so he has 1,800, but look at that touchdown to interception ratio.
Yes.
Even with being hurt, 21-6. I mean, and again, if you look at these seasons, he's still throwing 68% accuracy. That's a huge number to me. The numbers outside of that, he's playing big games.
Also, I forgot Utah's QB is Zach Wilson's little brother.
Is it really?
Yes.
And he didn't go to BYU, so that means he doesn't have to resort to moms. He could just stay and do his thing.
Yeah.
I didn't look at Shador's rushing. I forgot to look at that in the last 5. But here's the thing. But he's really good as well. He's not asked to throw as much as often though, because Texas is a full team. So it's interesting. I don't know.
I think you're pretty okay with either of those picks.
All 4 of them. I'm happy with them. Top 2024 college.
Yeah. So it is a wonder where the Jets are going to land and Tankathon at this point. You kind of hope they're landing a good spot in order to really be able to rebuild.
Which I'm not always on QBR here. Actually, let me do.
You just talked about percentage. Why wouldn't you do that?
Shut up, okay?
Well, you're a little lost, aren't you, bud?
As I struggle here.
Yeah.
Here, let's see. They ranked the top 10, and this was back in March, so not as helpful.
Nate's saying, to be honest, I have no idea how Nebraska ate Shador's lunch this year. You know, it's college football, man. It happens. It's not like Nebraska's a bad team. Because it's just what happens.
And also because Nebraska has a kid that looks exactly and plays exactly like Patty Mahomes, except he's not as good, but he looks exactly. We're going to go with the QBR real quick because QBR is a good indicator, okay? Cam Ward, number 1, not surprising. Curtis Rourke over at Indiana. Indiana's having a hell of a year.
Yeah, they are.
They're
Really good year,
fantastic.
dude.
Jackson Dart with Mississippi. They won some games. I've seen Dart play.
Mhm.
Will Howard, product of a really good team. Will Howard's a good quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback, I don't believe. Jalen Miller, don't believe he's an NFL quarterback. He also plays for Alabama. I hate Alabama. BU, Sawyer Robertson, no. Dylan Gabriel's playing good football, but I think it's more Oregon than Dylan Gabriel, if we're being honest. But Dylan Gabriel's fantastic. But yeah, I'm just looking at this list. I don't, maybe Curtis Rourke could stand out and be a really good player because he is leading Indiana in a really freaking good season. Outside of that, I'm not going to go crazy with the rest of them. Carson Beck hanging out 13 there. I don't think he's going to.
Carson Beck had a bad time recently.
Riley Leonard. No one has hurt their stock more than Riley Leonard. If he would have just came out after Duke last year, he probably would be playing in the NFL right now, like playing on Sundays and actually playing. Going to Notre Dame in the season they're having, not great. Not great for a start.
This Saturday is the defining moment for Indiana. Ohio State versus Indiana. Yep.
And I'm telling you right now,
we'll see.
Indiana is going to win the game, but the score will have Ohio State winning because the Zebras will be on Ohio State's side. Because Indiana is not a blue blood. They are not a perennial power. And unless they go in and dominate the game, which they're not going to, you are going to see shiesty shit. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But this happens every single time when the blue bloods go up against the non-blue bloods. You'll see a lot of phantom holdings that you don't call on anybody else. You will see what you will call it. They'll call the pick play at the goal line that they call against nobody else. I forget who they did it to. I think last week or a few weeks ago it was a college game, and they called the pick play, and I was watching it. It really but all the guy did was ran like a straight route as he was running like a little seam in the end zone.
Yeah,
and they called that a pick play, and it's like, okay, any other if the other team, and they were playing a blue blood, the other team did it, they would have been fine with it.
Yeah,
but it's because look for those types of things. Look for those. That's what's going to go on, and that's really what's going to drive everything. And 100% Alex, I thought he was going to be a world beater at Notre Dame. Yeah, no. And I like Riley Leonard. He was really good at Duke last year. Really played really well. True. SMU not being in the playoffs is shady. Boise State should be higher too. And I think it was actually it might be the SMU game, Nate, because I think they did lose to a blue blood recently, if I'm not mistaken. I'm
not sure. I can't remember.
I'd have to look, but Dave, we're really not going to get to like so many categories tonight because we just played sports.
We went off a side tangent. Let's bring it back to the Jets. We try to weave. We'll bring it back to the Jets though.
We're almost 45 minutes in
because we're in a rebuild now. Obviously, Woody might be the ambassador of UK again, so he's going to be gone.
And then we're stuck with Chris, who was worse owner than Woody. Chris was terrible.
I'm interested to see what.
You're freezing. Oh no. Dave is a robot. But yeah, I'm gonna continue with that. If Woody becomes the ambassador to the UK again,
it happens at this point because at least now it's something interesting is happening.
Go ahead, continue.
No, I'm saying like now I'm interested now because now it's what's going to happen. Now there's something that actually provides value going on with the Jets in some type of way. So we'll see about what's going to go down there, but.
I have a very quick aside that has nothing to do with football. Rutgers basketball with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper starting off with a bang, 3-0. Ace Bailey came in and had his premiere and was just Paducah dunking all over people. They have a really easy game against Merrimack coming up, but that's a team they're already ranked number 24 in the country, with the two of the best freshmen in the country. I'm going to keep on talking about Rutgers and what they're doing because I'm fucking pumped to see Rutgers basketball, and everything Coach Peichel has done there has paid off to get two guys that are going to be top 5 in the draft. And Ace Bailey legitimately battling with Cooper Flagg for that number 1 pick is going to be great. All right, go ahead.
It's awesome. Continue. Also want to tell you you're wrong. SMU's only lost to the BYU close and early in the season.
You're right.
I'm
also saying up while David.
If SMU beats Miami for the ACC, it's going to get wild for the committee. It 100% is, and there's a chance of it happening too.
I am so happy that SMU has come back because the death penalty is one of the biggest bullshit things that they do in the NCAA, and the fact that SMU is back and in the conversation to potentially compete for a championship and a playoff is just fucking poetry. I do love that. Go ahead, Dave.
So we're going to move on from the Jets to something real quick hit, but I wanted to show this, the NBA giving a technical foul on Russell Westbrook. just for staring someone down. He got a tech for that.
Which is
I don't like
classic
those,
Russ. Like that is something that Russ has done
Yeah.
throughout his career. Like,
Just
and
embarrassing.
that wasn't even bad. He just stink faced him.
Just that. That's all it was. He gets a tech for that. NBA being a little embarrassing. You know that they have a chance to become like really fun again with with Ant and like a younger generation bringing the fun while LeBron and KD are kind of seeing themselves out in a way. But you know they're just being a little bit. Refs always a problem, especially in the NBA.
Yep.
But I also want to say that Russell Westbrook tonight did get 200 triple doubles in his career.
First ballot Hall of Famer,
Hall of
top
Fame
15
bid.
player in the history of basketball.
Yes. Yes. 110%.
It's insane that people downplay this man.
Yes.
And you know, and thing is, it's like I've said it before about the NFL, and I'll say it for everyone. Things like that ref should not get a game check tonight. He should not get a game check because that is egregious and that could change the balance of the game. Because if they fucking lose by a point, it was because of that idiotic technical. So game check.
Yeah. Nate saying, I heard the NBA is going to ban players for doing a Trump dance. I haven't seen that.
The NFL came out with a statement saying that they are okay with it, which is ridiculous that they have to be okay with that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck off. It's not offensive anything. He's fucking boom and a bam and a boom and a boom.
Yes.
Boom, boom.
Yes.
Like there's nothing offensive about it.
Well, I will say this: the NBA, as with the NBA, the NFL is the no fun league. So a lot of celebrations, like, almost kind of have to pass before they even do anything. But I am happy that they actually decided to allow fun to be a thing. I haven't heard anything about the NBA banning players who doing a Trump dance, but I also haven't seen anybody in the NBA doing it.
Ennis Cantor's not in the league anymore, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Ennis Freedom.
So I forgot he fucking.
Where the fuck did Ennis Freedom go? Like he should be here.
Dumb.
Like he was. He was a big part of like during the interim phases right there of just being based as shit.
Yeah.
Ennis
Turkey got him.
Ennis Freedom should be announced
Turkey
in the cabinet. Because Linda McMahon is the Department of Education chair, which we weren't going to talk about.
That is a very weird choice. I don't like that one. I don't like that one.
That's a meme. And Mehmet Oz being the Medicare, Medicaid.
Yeah, I don't love that one either.
Not a fan of that. He's now just kind of pandering to friends. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Nate saying National Load Management Association sucks. It's
National
annoying.
Load management. Yes.
That's what it is. That's what it is, though. And it is annoying because basketball in itself as a sport is a lot of fun.
I love Shaq calling out Joel Embiid for being a bitch.
Yes.
And Embiid trying to clown him, being like, oh, if I just had to sit down and mop up rebounds from Dwayne Wade and Kobe, it's like, bitch, Shaq would own Joel Embiid.
You can't fucking Joel Embiid cannot talk
Joel
shit.
Embiid,
That's the best part about having Shaq or Barles Charkley say something is that they're like, even though like Barkley doesn't have a ring, the man's still a Hall of Fame great fucking player. So you cannot just talk shit to these guys. It's not someone that you could just try to clown.
In the 90s, Joel Embiid's a good player. He's probably an all-star, but he's a guy. He's not Joel Embiid. He's not. He's never in the MVP talk. He is in the 90s. He's eaten up by guys like your Shaqs. Even in the early 2000s, Yao Ming would fucking eat him for the lunch. A young Dwight Howard dominates Joel Embiid in every which way. So it's like, it's not.
Which I will say, you know, Dwight's had a lot of things come out about him. So Dwight's been having a rough time of it.
Dwight's a weird cat.
Dwight gets disrespected because he was fucking dominant for a time. And he gets disrespected.
I remember the Dwight Mare with the Nets. The Dwight Mare, two fucking off seasons in a row, there was the Dwight Mare about Brook Lopez being packaged and traded for Dwight to come to Brooklyn. That was such a thing.
And Nate saying those reports of Tyrese Maxey having to call Joel Embiid out 11 years in is sad. Yes, 110%, especially for someone, because Joel Embiid, with all of his fucking skill, was the savior of the 76ers. And it was 100%. Close for a time being. He was the process. Trust the process.
He was.
That's what he was. So
they failed on two of them.
Yeah,
Ben Simmons and fucking Marcus Fultz.
Yeah,
just utter failures for that process.
It's sad to watch happening because you want to see people that actually have the skill be good and not have to be called out by like Tyrese Maxey, because Maxey's playing damn well and he has the ability to be able to call out Embiid and have the respect to be able to fucking do it now.
It's the difference between guys like your Dame Lillard, your Giannis Antetokounmpos that just go fucking play and want to play. And then you have Joel Embiid who's like, I'm not going to play back-to-backs. Like, I would actually sit him. If I am the Sixers, I'd be like, then don't fucking play.
Mhm.
Like, I would sit there and I would just sit him every night. If you don't want to sit there and go to war, like, you know what I watch every once in a while. All the Smoke will show up as a reel every once in a
Yeah.
while. And I actually like their interviews. I actually think Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes do a really nice job on that.
Yeah.
I really like all the Smoke podcasts.
Yeah.
And one of the clips, and they were like, it was like a little like montage like thing. It's like, I forget who it was. It was someone saying like, you'd be surprised. I would say 80 to 90% of NBA players don't love basketball. And that's just sad to hear that they are just there to collect a check and they don't love ball. And that's just, it sucks. Like, that sucks. I
Mhm.
get it. It's a job. I get it. It's a business. But it's like, I don't think that was the case 20, 30, 40 years ago. I think those guys enjoyed playing the game as well. So I find that sad.
You're
if
also
that's
making a
true.
bit. You're also making a bit less at that time. We see money
Oh,
get thrown around
Matt
for
Santos says it all the time. There
yes,
is way too much money and not enough talent. And
yes,
I
and
100%
it's
agree with that.
100% true.
It is
Nate
100% true.
saying those bigs in the 90s would put Joel in the training room for
Hell yeah.
90% of his career.
Hell
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's fragile. He's been a fragile player throughout his career too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's craziness. All right, so
We're actually
I like our tangents tonight.
Yeah, I know. But we're going to move into politics at this point. We're going to move into
No.
what
You don't want to talk about our
No,
next
we're already 50 minutes in. Where Nancy Mace today decided to put out something. Biological men do not belong in private women's spaces, period. Full stop. End of story. This is a resolution for Congress in the House of Representatives. I'll just read it because it's really short.
Based.
Resolution. Prohibiting members, officers, and employees of the House from using single-sex facilities other than those corresponding to their biological sex and for other purposes. Whereas allowing biological males into single-sex facilities such as restrooms, locker rooms, and changing rooms designed for women jeopardizes the safety and dignity of members, officers, and employees of the House who are female. Now, therefore, be it. And then this goes on.
An incredibly logical bill,
mm-hmm.
and a bill that shouldn't have to exist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, let's see. So fellas,
yeah, real quick
MJ
before
went to the casino, smoked and drank all night, showed up in 82 and was flying commercial. These pampered wimps suck, and that's basketball, that's baseball, that's football, that's
it's what makes it insane though, because we have all of these legitimate advancements in how people can prepare for sports and for all these high activity things, and then we see people actually take more time off than they used to. Yeah. And it's just a weird thing to see happen.
I also think they do it too much now. I also think you're having these kids and these dudes, these basketball players now, this has been their job since they were 12. Mm-hmm. Since they knew they were good, they've been doing AAU since they were 12. And these guys have been in the spotlight and have had their asses wiped and been told they're great. They were McDonald's All-Americans. They went to big schools. They were one and dones. And now they're in the league and they have had themselves pampered this whole time. And they get to the league and they expect it to continue. And, if you're Joel Embiid, if you're a superstar, it kind of does continue because it's a star-driven league. But when you're not one of these guys, it smacks you in the face. And then you make a decision, right? You can either grind and figure it the fuck out, or you end up in the G League, or you end up in Europe. You know what I mean? You don't play. But it's like these guys that are superstars that remain superstars, especially a lot of these young ones, like the moment it's going to go awry, I'm curious where Anthony Edwards' mindset is the moment it doesn't keep coming easy, right? Because it's going to catch up with him. He's going to have a year that it's not coming as easy. We've seen these rises. Trae Young has responded beautifully. He's not being a bitch. He's just working, right?
Yeah.
So
Nate's saying, I think we need a Quest of Wrestling, Quest of Sports, and a Quest political show. Honestly, we kind of do.
Here's the thing, Nate. We had, I've done a sports show. We never did a wrestling one, but that would be fun shit. But yeah, and Nate, honestly, it would probably be smart if we fucking did it that way. We'd probably actually do much better instead of our variety smorgasbord. But this is the way we like to do it. So
yeah,
we're gonna have everything in one package. All right, let's run a little.
Yes. But she put this resolution out. Obviously, it became a huge stir because there was a congressman that was voted in that is trans, that is a guy.
Man.
Yes. So Nancy Mace decided to also troll a little bit.
Here's the thing. Nancy, for a time, was flirting with the Uniparty and Rhino and has certainly flown to the right.
Yes.
Much more. Has gotten much more base that she's realized the culture
And
maybe she's gotten a little brave because she's gotten a lot of good responses from X. The culture's on her side.
yeah.
But yeah.
And I will say this. I don't think this isn't needed. Like I get it. I get what she's saying,
She's
but
doing
this
it for
isn't needed.
clicks. This is for clicks.
But it shouldn't be needed. This
No.
should not be needed. We
No.
should not be in this type of fucking clown world. We just shouldn't be.
We also have a congressman who pulls a fucking fire alarm to stop a vote and gets nothing done to him. So, so maybe it is needed, okay? Maybe this type of shit is needed. And that guy's still in Congress.
He lied about it.
Did he lost, right? Did Jamal Bowman lose his reelection?
Bowman?
Did he lose his reelection?
I don't know if he did. I think he might still be in.
And whoever fucking voted for him should have their voting rights revoked.
Thank you, Nate, saying I can talk
Nate,
each of these all night with
that.
you. Thank you.
But it's like, yeah, so maybe it is needed. These people do need to fucking have their hands held. They're the same thing as these NBA players. They have half a fucking brain. They don't do a real job.
But an ABC News reporter decided to ask Nancy Mace about this, and I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit. We're going to do 1.5, see if that sounds good.
Nope, this asshole still fucking is there. Fuck
yep, told you. But we're gonna listen to this back and forth here.
The question is, with your piece of legislation about banning...
Is that too fast?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Women from using...
Yes.
My question to you is...
It doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%. And
But should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
You've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I'm not going to stand for it. And the speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion, to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker.
End of story. And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that...
Well, no.
And fuck that guy for even framing it that way. And also,
Yes.
what people need to understand, and Nancy Mace is correct in a lot of ways here, because it's not just the bathroom. These people that are, when they're in Washington, there's like a gym that's over there and everything. There is women locker rooms. If I'm Nancy Mace and I'm sitting there and, she keeps in decent shape. You could see she cares, she works out. She probably uses those gym facilities. The last thing she wants is this fucking trans person there.
And
flopping
the thing
his
is,
little dick around.
he's framing it as if this is not treating, was it McBride, with respect and dignity, but
Tim McBride, Rob McBride,
Sarah, Sarah, but I don't know I don't know the dead name, so I can't
Rob,
say.
I think.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But what is actually happening is the women in that bathroom is not being treated with dignity and respect for allowing someone to go in there that fucking has a penis.
Women don't matter anymore. Women don't. They are not the protected class.
You mean
anymore.
vagina holders, or menstrual people, something.
So Nate goes, the appeal to abuse feels very leftish, and then he follows up with,
that's fair.
She's on the right side of the debate. Don't even need the appeal to emotion.
No, that's fair.
Nate,
but you're also
need to understand though, she's a female.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most based female is going to go back to that because they are an
100%.
emotional group. And here's the thing. In the way that she frames it, I'm not necessarily angry at the fact that she's not speaking for everyone. She has her own personal experience of rape and sexual abuse. So I'm more okay with her being like, listen, I've been through shit. I'm not going to fucking go through it again. As opposed to a leftist that's going, I'm protecting all women that have ever been sexually abused or raped. That's a little more of like I get it. We don't want to hear that whole entire like victim mentality. But at the same time, this is her saying, hey, I'm not doing it because I'm a bigot. I'm doing it because this is important to me beyond just being a woman. I'm a woman that's gone through shit, and I'm not going to let it happen to me or anyone else that I like here. So I will say that it's not where the typical leftist jargon is. We need to do this for all women. No, fuck all women. You're not all women.
That dignity and respect.
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect. I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy, because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Thank you, Congressman. We're going to peel away from this conversation, Kira. So a little bit of the context of what we were just talking about, and I'm going to have my cameraman step out of the active driveway.
Get this fucking dough-faced nerd off my screen.
So
a little bit of context. I tried to ask her a very fair question, and she responded meanly.
Nancy Mace was talking about being threatened.
And then
with
she gave
death.
out receipts.
Yes. Well, in Libs of TikTok, Nancy Mace also put this out, but Live the TikTok put this out, where trans person
It's a
prepare to
gross
die, Rep
fucking
Nancy
picture.
Mace. And also, I kind of wish I didn't share because I hate that second picture.
Yeah,
but we'll get right off of that. And this is the video that was sent. That was on same person, Venus Penis. What a name.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that woman's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor.
The bleep didn't work. Why did they even try?
I know.
While I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well.
And here's the thing: in their deluded world,
It's fucking gross, dude.
In that deluded
This is weird.
world, that's championed, that's cheered, and that's okay. And here's the thing: I'm waiting. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's come out. Where's AOC? Where's Ilhan Omar? Where is fucking the squad? Any women? Where's Nancy Pelosi? Where are all the women in Congress that should step up and say, while we disagree with the politics of what Nancy's doing,
In solidarity with women, that's not okay.
you know, like, where is that? Because you know they would demand that.
Mm-hmm.
They would demand it from Boebert, MTG, Nancy Mace, all of them, Paulina Luna, if that happened to one of them. And the thing is, they would be ahead of it. They would already be out there in front saying, hey, this isn't okay. Man or woman, this isn't okay. That's where it would be. But I guarantee you, it is going to be silent because they do not want to piss off that small fraction of a loud fucking minority that they have in the left.
Yeah. And it's just, this is actually pretty consistent with a lot of these absolutely crazy trans activists.
They have mental issues.
It's fucking wild to watch happen.
Yeah.
This happened actually a lot in England as well. What's her name? Oh. I can't remember. She's always referred to as a TERF, and it's not J.K. Rowling.
Oh, I know you're talking about Katie something, I think it is.
Yeah.
Catherine
She's talked to Sargon before a couple times, actually.
In the end, this person needs to go to jail. I agree. This is the brig. This is the type of brig, or at minimum, put in handcuffs, brought in and investigated and interrogated very hard to see, is this a credible death threat?
Yeah.
And if it is credible, Nancy Mace should have already pressed charges. We
Yes.
know who this person is. Very public.
And the thing is that through the ideology that these people look at it through the lens, if you are not validating, if you are not actually accepting that this person is a woman, yes. If you're not accepting that this man is a woman, that means you are actually committing violence towards them. You are not letting them exist.
So this is justified in their
exactly. So this is actually defense to them because what you're doing causes violence towards them. So that's why they feel super proud saying this. That's why they feel like this is perfectly fine. And that's why you don't really get any pushback from this from a lot of people, because that's how they view this. They view it as something that absolutely persecutes trans people, or that it makes sure that they don't exist, which is nonsensical, terrible fucking framing of any goddamn subject. And it just shows the childish thinking of this type of ideology.
And on top of that, they've convinced this group of people, this trans activists and others, that they are an absolute monolith. And that because one person in Congress is trans and they made a rule that they all need to now get on deck because activism is their religion. This is their religion. That people need to understand that this right here, what this individual doing, is a religious act. They are doing their penance. They need to do this in order to show that they are down with their religion. So this is something that is a badge of honor. This individual, if they get arrested, they're going to go down as a martyr in their group.
Also, Nate, I do have to agree, because you say FBI has no time for this thing threatening Nancy. They have Gretchen Whitmer kidnap plots to fake. I have to disagree. They actually have more parents to arrest just for bringing up these types of topics at school boards meetings.
And grandmothers that were walking around the Capitol and not actually walking in to slam down their doors at 4 a.m.
Yes. But this has been going on. This is probably going to continue. They're going to try to use this new congressman in order to use him as a cudgel against the right. And I just hope that, we actually stand behind Mace and be like, no, she's absolutely correct in this.
And
In fact,
I'm Speaker Johnson, I am commanding Capitol Police and working with the Capitol Policemen to walk with Nancy Mace everywhere. She is in the Capitol right now because she's obviously a target. These people are mentally unstable. There is nothing to say that a trans activist, not this one necessarily, but someone will attack her. And that's a grown fucking man attacking a woman when we put it in that way. A man is looking to potentially attack Nancy Mace. So the Speaker Johnson needs to figure out either the sergeant at arms or someone needs to accompany Nancy Mace so that she does not get harmed, because she's in harm's way right now for being logical.
yes. So I just wanted to throw this in there. There's a paper shredding truck at the DOJ, apparently. We've maintained a physical investigative presence by the Justice Department, which also is more convenient for cooperating sources. Today, a paper shredding truck arrived. I just thought this was funny.
It's funny. It's probably coincidental, right?
Yes.
They probably just the amount of paper that is probably wasted and used, and it's probably coincidental that they are now having the time to shred backlogs. I get it. Hilarious though.
Nate saying, "I was so scared for our democracy." Everyone was. Everyone was terrified for our democracy.
Nate, I'm literally shaking right now.
Yes.
I'm literally shaking.
I can't
even deal. No
But
cap.
after that, we have The View getting felted. Sunny Hostin being forced to do something that she's never wanted to do.
These are terrible fucking screenshots so far.
I know, I love them.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding.
Also, real quick, a lot of people said the same thing with like Kyle Rittenhouse. Across state lines means fucking nothing.
No.
Especially in this context, it means nothing. No. Child trafficking is bad whether it's across state lines or not.
And what's hilarious is they worry about state lines, but not about people crossing the border.
Yes.
They worry about crossing of state lines, but crossing into a country, okay. But God forbid you go in your own country to a different state.
Yes.
Further on in the interview, they discuss the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has
Pause real
long
quick.
denied all allegations.
I actually love Whoopi there because Whoopi's being a piece of shit with the way she's laughing at it and knows that Sonny's pissed.
Yes.
And honestly, Whoopi's a retard. That was fucking hilarious where she just teed it up and with a big smile.
I'll bring it back.
Knowing Sonny has to, like, just the way Whoopi did it where she was like, Sonny, you had a legal note. Like, bitch. Like, that was actually funny.
Have fun. Yeah.
That was really good. I'm not going to lie.
Remember, she passed the bar. Just remember that. She passed the bar.
Sex with her.
Whose bar was in her mouth to pass?
You have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Go back again. I missed it. That was great.
God damn it.
I was talking.
You have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Sonny's so mad.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
How?
That was great.
So
That was great.
and
Watching this stupid bitch eat crow is amazing.
And the thing is, and this is how you deal with these fucking people. If they're gonna keep coming out here and just slandering people for no reason, then just say, look, there may be legal repercussions if you keep fucking doing this. So stop it. At least try to be somewhat genuine with your conversations.
And even after she says that, I would still sue her. Because you did say it before. Even though you CYA'd after, you did slander me.
Well, they did send a legal notice, so they did.
Oh, that was a notice of
yes.
If
say
you
this
don't,
or
then
yes,
I'd still sue her.
Yeah.
Fuck
so
it.
an actual update from
Quick
something
one,
we've been
yeah.
talking about for a little bit now.
Yep.
Democratic Bucks County PA commissioner tried to steal the Senate election for Bob Casey, says her comments about disobeying the court order were misinterpreted.
Yeah, you're the idiot.
I mean, maybe I have to see a longer video of that, but I have a difficult time misinterpreting what the fuck she said.
No, and I'll tell you this. She was being sarcastic.
Yeah, okay.
And she was trying to say that because we now have a president who's a felon that the courts have given immunity to, because they've run with this. He has presidential immunity to do everything. He could be a dictator. So she was trying to be tongue in cheek.
No, she wasn't. I actually disagree with that completely.
I think she was trying. You could tell.
No,
by her
I don't
tone.
think she's being tongue in cheek.
I think by her tone,
no,
she's being
I think she legitimately believes that not like the whole Donald Trump is a convicted felon arc.
Oh, she believes it.
She not only she believe that,
Yeah.
but since people voted him in that way, she believes that okay, we don't care about the rule of law anymore, so why should I? It wasn't tongue in cheek. She was being fucking dead serious. No, she was. She just was.
I think just basing off her tone, I feel like she had a sarcastic tone. I think she was being tongue in cheek while also here's the thing. I think two things can be true at once.
Yeah,
I think she was being tongue in cheek while also still saying "fuck it, we're gonna do it."
Yeah,
I think she was taking a shot at the fact that she believes that Trump is an immunity and a felon, and that while saying, on that note, we're still gonna go ahead and do it.
Yes.
So I think you're correct and I'm correct.
Because she did vote to actually count the ballot. So that's what I'm saying.
I think two things can be right at once.
Yes. I can agree with that. She says, I apologize for all the upset and confusion it caused. Said the statement was inartfully worded, which is it's such a dumb cop out. It's awful.
And that's such like a false leftist complicated word to get you to make it feel like something inartfully. That's not real. No one says inartfully. That's not a real thing.
Well, Obama said inartfully a lot. So
Obama's not a real person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nate saying tards keep winning. Except our sweet Anna, she's on her way. She is. She's coming over a little bit.
Dave, I told you she's getting in Chank's ear.
I don't think she's getting in Chank's ear. But speaking of the Young Turks, this is actually a hilarious video clip. I've talked a lot of shit about Piers Morgan, but if he keeps bringing this like political Jerry Springer happening all the time, then I might have to apologize because this is fucking great content.
On. I didn't realize, was Alan Lichtman, was he the fucking the characters in fucking Harry Potter?
What?
In Gringotts? Tell me he doesn't look like one
Don't say that. Don't say that. You don't know what he is, dude. We can get sued for that. You don't know what ethnicity he is. Don't fucking say that, dude. You can't just fucking do that.
No, he just listen, he's a weird looking dude. You could say someone's fucking weird looking, okay?
Yeah, they'll misinterpret it. It'll be inartfully worded on your part.
That's exactly how I'll defend it. I inartfully worded his appearance that he looks like a character from Harry Potter.
Nate's saying in 4 years, Anna will be our much hotter Tulsi.
You think Anna Kasparian's that hot?
That's an interesting one. might have to side by side that.
Tulsi's better. Have you seen Tulsi in those surfing fucking pictures? I think Tulsi's hotter than Anna Kasparian. I'm not gonna lie. No, I might have to side by side this now for research purposes only. But I will make sure that my incognito tab is on.
You have to watch this, Alex. Yeah, Nate's saying this Piers is this is fucking hilarious. Because Cenk has been called the Alex Jones of the left recently, and I kind of agree with that because of his just bombastic fucking nature. And he's always been that way though. But he takes Alan to that field, and he makes Alan look fucking stupid because Cenk is normal for spurging out, but Alan spurging out just made him look ridiculous.
Well, Alan is a dumbass. He got this completely wrong.
Don't blame the voters. I think, look, we could get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong.
So I do want to say this real quick, and I know I'm fucking delaying this way too much, but I did look at Alan's keys and his true and false shit for this election.
He was wrong about all. He was wrong about his own interpretations of them.
But that's my thing. If because his interpretations were retarded of his
interpretations led to Trump winning.
If he was if he was honest and not living in a fantasy world, his keys would have been correct.
Here's the thing, Dave. So I don't know if I can find the clip. It was probably a month ago now. Timcast did it where they looked at his prediction when he just let it out saying that,
Yeah.
according to my keys, Kamala's going to win in a landslide. That's
Well,
exactly what he
isn't
said.
one of them is that it's a
That-
good economy and he gave it to Kamala?
He gave it economy, and he said that there was not a great thing that had happened.
Yes.
That Donald Trump didn't almost die.
Yeah.
And so, and the other one is the charisma of the challenger. He didn't give him the charisma, the things. And Tim went through them, and he even gave a few that he's it's borderline Trump, so I'm gonna give it to Lichtman.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think there's 15, and he said if 6 or 7 or 8 are correct, then that means that it's gonna be. With the ones that he gave, it was 9-5.
Yeah, I know.
Or something like that. It was
His keys were correct if you were genuinely honest about what's happening.
If he wasn't living in La La Land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Nate saying Cenk messaged Elon about how he'd kill some government programs. Elon listened, and Cenk was blown away and stood up to the left about talking to Elon. I did see that on Twitter.
And here's the thing, Nate. We Dave and I discussed whether or not we were going to bring up Cenk basically, and Epic Mike, one of the friends of the show, basically said, "Fuck this guy," which I agree.
Yeah.
And I said it, and Dave kind of disagrees, but I think Cenk, and okay, I'll couch it this way: he's not going to genuinely come to the right, but I think he is going to move more rightward because he sees that if the Young Turks continue to be this leftist outlet, these leftist apologists, then they are going to lose people.
So I will say this: Cenk and Anna are both more populist left.
Yeah.
So they can share some middle ground with a populist right.
Which is why they get along with some people.
And that's where it's coming in. That's why he's able to message Elon. And if Elon responds, he's like, holy shit, they're listening. I remember him saying something on Twitter about Elon wants to actually do something that we wanted for a long time that the Democrats won't fucking do. Why wouldn't I try to work with them to get it done? Which is just accurate and logical framing of, okay, if I can get this done, I'm going to get it done no matter how it has to happen.
And I think the only way we see Cenk, quote unquote, coming to the right is if the Overton window moves more left, right? Because Cenk is not on the right, but he is saying and he's going on rants on X going hey, when I was coming up, the left was the party of tolerance. Democrats were the party of tolerance, and now they are not. Now they are the elitist. And the Republicans are the ones that are.
That's the thing, though, and that's why I don't really love the left-right spectrum. Is because the main thing here is populist. Cenk is more for a populist kind of movement on the left.
Yeah,
but that's where the ground is being met.
He's for fascism. Because populist on the left is fascism.
Well, yeah, sure. But I'm just saying he's more in the populist camp. But that's where the ground is being shared here. And Nate's saying I agree. Cenk sucks. He's not wrong about fucking the Pentagon. Yeah,
no, I agree.
It's the same thing with Jimmy Dore, because Jimmy Dore hates the Young Turks, but Jimmy Dore is also a fucking leftist, dude. He's always been
a leftist, and he'll tell you he is.
But he saw a lot of people in the MAGA movement actually coming around to things that he agrees with. So he's like, yeah, why in the fuck wouldn't I actually talk and agree?
We could disagree where we disagree. We'll agree. We'll agree, and we'll walk away in the end. That's how it always has been.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Dave, the left-right dichotomy is still correct. And I have said this, the Democrats have always been this way. And if you look at the history, Woodrow Wilson has started them on this very progressive track. FDR continued it. And I have said they have been pushing leftward slowly and slowly and slowly. The squad kicked the fucking door in. And the squad came in, and they were that populist left group that is they're social democrats, aka Marxist.
Yes.
That's what the social democrats have always been, the Marxist communist groups of every other country but this one, apparently. But they kicked the door in, and which is why AOC had controversy with Pelosi. And I don't believe it was because they disagreed. It was because Nancy and that group was slowly and surely progressing to the left. And they did not want to fully take the masks off, where AOC and the squad were like, fuck it, mask off. We're doing this. We're coming in. Bernie, stop being a pussy. Join us. You're a communist. We're communists. They thought the country was ready for Marxism. And they pushed in, and Justice Democrats wanted to get them in because they believed we have Soros, Beautiful Trouble's working. We have Antifa. And Obama really pushed everybody further left. And they truly thought the country was ready for it. And if you see, the Democrats have now capitulated to all of that. And that is the whole party is lockstep left.
So that's why they lost. Well, no, that in and of itself isn't why I lost. It's the fact that they fucked up implementing it, and that's why I lost.
Agreed. And they had a chance, and they really did, and they fucked it up. Go ahead.
Yes. But I'm going to try not to pause this anymore
How
because
long
you
is
have to
this?
see it in all of its glory. It's 2 minutes, but you
All right,
have
let's
to
go.
see it in all its glory, dude.
He said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
couldn't
not
find
right,
him
and
before
I
the
was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who
You want to
won?
make your
You
point,
live
make your
in a
point.
total
Don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Yeah,
so quiet with your personal
yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever
Okay.
point you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Look,
make it
you
personal.
don't know anything. You don't know
You
anything.
attacked me
You
personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only
Okay.
been a
Can I
professor
just-
for 51 years.
On this program,
published
I've never been
13
able
books.
to finish a
How
thought.
many books have you published? No, because you're personally
Yeah.
attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to
Okay,
stand
but
for
brother,
personal
you got it
attacks.
wrong.
Say
You were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just
Don't
finish
call
a
me
goddamn thought
stupid.
ever on this show?
No, not if you're
Okay,
personally
well,
I
you proved
admitted
it.
I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say,
What
it's
kind
great
of
to see
nonsense
you
is that?
Democrats
Yeah, I
all
know.
getting
Who
along
taught
so
you
well.
manners?
It's lovely to
You're
see you
just
post-election
Finish a
harmony as you all
goddamn
come
point.
together
We're
again.
just
Hey,
one
Alan,
right now.
shh. Hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut up juice, so can you just shut up for a second and let someone who knows what
Not
they're
if
doing
you're
so
gonna
right,
personally
Pierce.
attack
You're
me.
so right.
So-
We're so
Make any
unified right
point
now. It's
Okay.
you
great.
want.
So-
I will not sit here and stand
So-
for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost your
Blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
Who the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you
like that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make your
you
point.
loser? Okay, can
Make your point.
I just give the correct answer for once?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Harry was everybody there. Like the fact
Yes.
that Harry's just sitting there, like, "Oh shit, it's going
Yes.
down." Like Harry's a faggot, but oh Jesus, we just got kicked off. Anyway,
Ah,
I can't. I don't
what are
care.
you doing?
I can't. I can't help it with that guy. Harry's a fucking loser, but that was hilarious. How he was everybody there. But the thing is, though, the best is at the beginning when Jenks starts saying like, "You got it wrong." Ron Williams is over there like,
Juan Williams.
Juan.
Yeah.
Why do I call him Ron?
I don't know.
Juan Williams is over there like,
Yeah,
This
he
guy-
got it. He did get it disastrously wrong. Him, along with Ann Selzer and all these people,
and you
are
can tell he did
Yeah.
because of the way he flipped out. And the thing
Yes.
is, it had nothing to do with actually wanting to be right. It was trying to help Kamala. in
it was
every which
invoking
way
hopium
possible.
in their campaign. That's what
And
it was.
Trying to put hopium in their campaign and trying to discourage some Trump voters. That's the
Yes.
attempt.
Yes.
So no, that was.
I told you, it's incredible. I love this video. It's amazing.
Listen, Cenk has his moments. Cenk is very Bill Maher-esque. Cenk is that way where he's, like you said, he's more of a populist. So he has his moments where he's not wrong. I'm not going to say he's right. He's just not wrong.
So we're going to go to here because, we do use X a lot, Twitter, however I want to say it whenever I feel like it. CNN admits that X now represents the average ideological makeup of the U.S. better than it ever did before Elon Musk bought it. And we're just going to watch this little video just to watch him have to admit this.
So one of the big reasons he bought Twitter/X is because he wanted to make it his own platform, remake it in his own image. And I think this really gets at it. Look at this.
Yeah.
The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better. And more than that, John, look at where Mr. Musk's net worth is today versus where it was just 2 months ago. He is the richest man in the world by far. 2 months ago, look at this. His net worth was $252 billion. Look at where we are today, $314 billion. He is by far the richest man ever to be on this planet. So yes, he's not as popular. Yes, Twitter/X perhaps is not as popular, but it's a much different platform, one that more represents Elon Musk's, let's say, political.
Then that's a crazy way to say that at the end of there. But it
Here's the
actually
thing.
represents America, my dude. How
And
about that?
Here's the thing. I think there's some people like this gentleman right here that probably voted for Trump. That genuinely can kind of be themselves now. Because he wasn't saying this in a ho-hum glum way.
Yeah.
He was saying that very enthusiastically, like, hey, X is doing its thing. And whether he voted for Trump or not, definitely doesn't think that he's the devil. Definitely doesn't think Elon Musk is the worst person ever. And like, did his job and reported. Which is
Nate
rare.
saying Licton is a wimpy G-wad. Funny to watch, so yes.
Yes. I mean, he's just.
I've been a professor for 51 years. The fuck
Cool.
does that mean?
You were wrong, bud.
Good for you. That means that you've been teaching your kids wrong for 51 years. Great job, bro.
Yeah, good job, man.
You dumbass. Now, you can't brag that you're perfect anymore.
That's incredible.
You got to tell them. So now you can. So Alan Licton can now go face his students and tell them why you were so disastrously wrong. Like Jank said, you were a loser. I like that he called him a loser. Like
because he is.
Yes.
He is. He won't accept why he was wrong. He fucking he blamed it on racism and misogyny. That's what he blamed it on.
But if your rubric is so foolproof, that shouldn't matter.
It's fucking embarrassing, dude.
The thing is, that's the bottom line. If your rubric is so foolproof, where the things that you are predicting based off of should supersede any of that. And here's the thing too. If that's the case, it's misogyny and racism in your own fucking base, you asshole. That's the thing. They always point it. It's not the Republicans. The Republicans didn't vote for a white 78-year-old because he's a white 78-year-old. We voted for him because he's the guy we wanted. He won the primary, people. We voted for our primary candidate. Republicans voted for the guy that they picked. Right? Your side didn't vote for the Indian, sometimes black, sometimes women, all the time woman. Okay? Like, your side didn't do that. Your side picked a bumbling, dotard moron of a white guy instead of the Jewish, actually polished politician because you knew the anti-Semites would not vote for you, okay? Like, you need to reevaluate here. If the misogynist and racist is the reason that you guys lost, it's in your party because they didn't vote for your candidate. It's not like they came and voted for Trump. Like, come on. Like, your racist and misogynist didn't come out. That you're calling your own base that. Like, I don't think they realize that. Self-own right there.
I think they realize it more than we think. But I will say this. This really shows, because a lot of leftists are like, leaving for Blue Sky. Blue Sky is going to be the thing now.
They're going to all come back as Blue
I
Sky's
love
a
it.
fucking hellhole.
Because the thing is, they're leaving for Blue Sky, not because Twitter is some right-wing echo chamber, but because people can actually speak more against their bullshit.
So, Elon, if you're watching this for some reason, or anyone in your space or can get in touch with Elon somehow, because we do have some of our past guests. If you happen to watch this, you are in touch with Elon. I know that you can have the technology to find out which users went to Blue Sky. If they come back, their accounts have to pay. Make them have to pay.
No. I disagree with that. Don't make them have to pay.
Make them have to pay.
No, don't make them have to pay. Put a little Blue Sky logo next to their name, just so people know that they left and came back. That's it. That's all it is.
Put a Blue Sky
don't make them pay. Don't make them pay. Let them come back.
Or just a blue dot. Yeah. Maybe Blue Sky doesn't want their logo there. Maybe a blue dot.
So people know that you left to come back.
That is
like a little fucking baby.
That is a good one. Or just put a baby emoji, a baby crying face next to them. Anyone you saw at the baby crying face left for either Blue Sky or Mastodon and came back.
Yeah, but
that's a good one.
We're seeing Twitter, while still not perfect, still a lot of things need to be fixed.
Yeah,
has become more of just the sentiment of America, apparently,
which could eventually get worse as we go on, because now it's really going to be in charge of whatever that woman's name is, as Elon focuses more on federal government stuff.
Yeah, Linda Yaccarino,
who,
something like that.
I'm not going to lie, her past few statements have been pretty fucking based.
Yeah.
The things that she's come out and have been more in support of free speech, more in support. So I don't know if it's Linda Yaccarino, I believe.
I think so.
If Linda Yaccarino was always a little more on the right and has kind of played the game. I don't like that. She's a snake. But if she's going to come out and still be more in that way, I'm cool with it. But Elon's definitely going to step away. He's going to focus on Doge up until that deadline because that's his job, right? He now has a new task at hand to clean up the government. So realize we're now in the hands of Yaccarino.
Yep.
It's not Elon's. So if anyone has problems now, send it to Yaccarino at her. She's the one that's going to be able to help.
Elon's also reading those, so he can
Elon's
at least
reading those. But once January 20th hits and he's firing on all cylinders, maybe that's why they put him and Vivek in charge so they can each handle their own on the side as well. But Elon's going to be I think he's going to be a lot more hands off, and especially with the big decision making on things like that. So We'll see. We'll see what happens. There could be a lot more shadow banning coming.
Yeah. So we're going to keep moving on to an actually pretty sad post, at least to me it is.
Yes.
Jeff Younger, if you don't know the story, he kind of touches on it in this. I'm going to read it first. I lost all parental rights to my sons. Goodbye, boys. Perhaps we will meet when you are adults. California Judge Juhas gave my ex-wife authority to castrate my son, James. All contact with my boys must be supervised. I won't do that. I send letters and gifts to my sons. My ex is not required to give them to the boys. I cannot post pictures of my sons. Let my story be a cautionary one for young men. Fathers have no rights to their children. Do not enter the family law system. And then he also posts a little bit. A number of well-meaning people and some ill-meaning people too have urged me to attend supervised visits. That is a bad idea. It's bad for kids. Supervised visitation reinforces in a child's mind that the father is dangerous, that something is wrong with him. It's also bad for the father. The supervisor can record anything he wants. Whatever he writes down, the court will take as fact. Supervision provides infinitely malleable material for the courts to make damaging findings. It's also very expensive. I had to do visits in Los Angeles County, California. The flights and supervision run to over $2,000 per visit. No parent should do a supervised visitation. It's bad for the children, bad for the father, and allows courts to invent false findings to further endanger the father. What do you think, Alec?
It's pathetic. And I struggle with this. Because California can do whatever the fuck they want. Because I am a states' rights guy. But this is hard because as a father, and I'm lucky that the woman I'm married to is a fantastic woman. And I don't believe would ever even imagine to do something to just a human being, right? Like, this is just a terrible thing to do to a human. But I don't know what I would do in his situation. And the fact that he's being so calm enough to even just type letters after hearing this and to not just go and just fucking take his kids. Like,
I do
difficult.
think he probably did expect this. I'm not going to lie to you.
Make a difference.
No, I'm not
it
saying it
becomes
makes
a reality.
I know that, but I am saying when you
Yeah.
do have time to accept it over just being hit with it, you react differently.
And your legal counsel, if they're any good, are going to be realistic with you, right?
Yes,
Once they start to see the chips falling, I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
But it's wrong in every which way.
Yep.
And I guess my plea is anyone in California who gives a shit about your state, look at Scott Pressler, look at Cliff Maloney, look at what they did in a few years in Pennsylvania, a year basically of running like fucking animals. You could change your state. California was not always a blue bastion. California was a red state for a pretty fucking long time.
Yeah.
And most of that state is still very red. You could do something about it. Go do something.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. This father can be you. And this could be you if you're a mother too. Right? It can happen. It doesn't matter.
Yes, but
It's
mothers do
rare.
get more deference in family.
Mothers
court.
get more deference, but it could happen, right?
Yeah, no, it could happen.
If you have a very vindictive man that can try to prove that you're an absolute psycho and he can get it done, he has great lawyers, he has a ton of money, you can have your kids ripped away from you.
Yes,
that type of shit can happen.
I don't
okay?
disagree. Yeah,
It's less of likely, but it can. If you care about the future of your kids or your potential kids, get involved now. Get involved. I say this all the time. The least you could do is go join your local GOP committee because then you're involved in the process. But if you read this post, if you know his story, and this is everywhere, not just Cali, anywhere that is blue that has something like this that could happen, go fight. And the way you fight is exactly the way Scott Pressler and Cliff Maloney did. You register voters and you tell them to vote Republican. You register them as Republicans and you tell them why they should be Republicans. That is what you do. And it starts with you. If you're in your area and you're in a red area, shore it the fuck up. That's the first way you start. Go around your area, make sure everyone that possibly could be registered is. That's the first way. But get involved. You can win back California.
Yeah.
Any states could be won back. But it's up to you. Don't just go home and do nothing.
Mm-hmm. And I will say
That's
this,
my plea.
because this touches on a bunch of things, this story, and especially this post, especially this last part right here, where he says fathers have no rights to their children, do not enter the family law system. And this is something, whether you believe it or not, whether you want to agree with it or not, that men are legitimately thinking about right now in the world. It is something that there's a reason why the manosphere is so big.
Yeah.
There's a reason why so many of these things are discussed. And that's one of the reasons right there about the family law system. And you can't just try to ignore it. You have to at least come into the conversation with some kind of argument there, because people watch something like this happen and they steer away from a lot of things at that point. So this is a genuinely difficult situation.
A great step that no one has talked about, and that people have mentioned, but that Donald Trump needs to take. He needs to have some of his historians there go look up the Great Society and repeal it line by line.
Yeah.
First step to fixing this fucking country is to make it so that single mothers in shitty situations aren't benefiting more from kicking out the father.
Yes.
If the father wants to be there, especially.
Or pretending that he's not there,
or pretending that he's not there, and things.
You're telling their children that he doesn't live here.
Yes.
He's actually not because that is a thing that happens in order for them to get better benefits.
And stop making it easier for the young man to just go, knowing that that woman is better off that way.
Yes.
Okay. Stop making it easier for these gentlemen who live in these poor situations to go and fuck everything and have multiple kids by multiple moms, because they know there's no repercussion for him either. The guys aren't off the hook. I don't want women to sit there and think, I'm not letting the guys off the hook. If you impregnate a woman, you absolutely should have to fucking have some involvement with that kid's life.
Well, there's something like a shotgun wedding that used to be a thing.
Used
to be a pretty fucking big thing, actually.
Pride. And the thing is, and this has primarily affected the black community in a lot of ways. Most minority communities and poor communities in general, not just the black, but poor communities in general, because they have made it more beneficial for the single mother to live through the state than for the mother and the father to grind it the fuck out, him to go get a job, them to go get married, figure it out, work together, raise the kid, right? And I get it. People's response is going to be, well, if he didn't want to be there in the first place, you're not putting the kid in a worse situation. The worst situation is that kid is living alone with a single parent on public fucking housing, around drugs, around gangs, or in anything in situation. That is the worst situation. The better situation is to have two parents that love them, maybe don't love each other, but love that kid and will do everything they fucking can to make sure that kid has a good life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. And that's the first thing we could do. And if someone, again, I may text some people in Trump's orbit right now, and after the show, or maybe tomorrow, it's late, and be like, hey, can we get in Donald Trump's ear now about fucking repealing the Great Society? You want to fix the country? Get that the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest first way we can go to make a huge dent in everything. Make people accountable again and make it less profitable for people to live off the fucking state.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a huge discussion.
This pisses me off. Because being a father, this fucking drives me crazy.
Yes.
And in a blue state, and like I said, I am blessed that my wife is fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And gentlemen, try to pick them well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not always promised, but
and
try
ladies,
to pick
them well.
Yes. Yes.
Both pick them well.
110%.
Not easy, but do it.
Mm-hmm. So we're actually going to move from this to Jeremy Clarkson. Connor Tomlinson actually tweeted this out. And with that, Jeremy Clarkson has become the most important political orator in Britain.
So here's the thing. How does Jeremy Clarkson just get a pass on so much? Because he is one of the most based individuals around. And has made no secret of it, even going back to his Top Gear days, that he's very much
because he's Jeremy Clarkson. It's the whole reason.
For whatever reason, he never gets the same shit. The guy is like,
he was voted the sexiest man in Britain.
He has like these same viewpoints as based as Nigel, when Nigel's being as based as possible.
Well, Nigel's fucking cucking out right now
when he's being based.
But we don't have to talk about that.
We don't have to talk. We don't need to talk about Nigel, otherwise we're going to go on for fucking 6 hours.
Jesus Christmas! I don't know if you saw that. There's a recent thing.
There was another one from I saw the most recent with the interview when he was talking about fucking with the
We
integration
have,
and
we have to appeal to Muslims.
we need to make sure because they're by the rate of growth is going to be
Oh
75%.
my
No,
fucking God.
asshole.
Oh
They
my
brought
God.
you in there to fucking stop
Yes.
that. To
Yes.
close the border so that is not. That's very easy. Stop letting them in.
Yes.
I digress.
Yep. Yeah.
I
But
digress. 'cause we could be
detractors
here all
accuse him
day.
of cashing in on a farmland inheritance tax avoidance scheme, but the fact is the people who produce our food feel he represents them. And I do want to watch this because this is important. Farmers matter everywhere. So it's important
They
to
are
understand the
significant.
situation.
Okay, so as we all know, everyone down there, you know a tractor. £200,000 for a medium-sized one. A combine, £500,000. All the equipment costs a fortune. And if you try to price what you're selling to accommodate that, there's just a lot of moaning. You get people saying, well, I shouldn't pay that. I can get a chicken from abroad. Yeah, you can. But it's so full of chlorine, it tastes like a swimming pool with a beak. And then you've got the environmentalists endlessly shouting at you, oh, your cows. They're altering the composition of the gases in the upper atmosphere, and your fertilizers ruining the trouty freshness of our streams and rivers. And I know sometimes you just think, what's the point? We're just trying to make breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it's just this endless whinging and there's no money in it. And the regulations. Some of you down there will know what I'm on about when I say we got a lot of GS4 this year on the farm. And we were told, oh, the sheep will love that. No, they don't. They're standing looking at it in the same way that a 5-year-old looks at an olive. They don't want to eat it. And so we have all of this complication and all of this cost. And there's very, very little money in it. Very little money, as you know. And then we got the budget. Now, I know a lot of people all across the country in all walks of life took a bit of a kick on the shin with that budget. You lot got a knee in the nuts and a light hammer blow to the back of the head. Because we had pickup trucks, double cab pickup trucks, being reclassified as company cars. 211% tax rise there. £50 carbon tax on a bag of fertilizer. The basic farm payments altered in such a way that we're getting a lot less than we thought we were going to get.
This is our future.
Yeah.
Because if, right now, again, Trump's got 4 years. In 4 years, in 2 years, the battle's on again for the presidency. Because in 2 years, the campaigns start in earnest. The primaries start, everything starts.
Yep.
So Trump's got 2 years to really get shit done because the people up for re-election are going to be pussies in Congress and Senate anyway, the House and Senate anyway. So he has 2 years, basically, to get shit done. There's a chance the Democrats win it back. Because if they don't do what they need to do these next 2 years, if Johnson's a bitch, if Thune really pushes back against him and things get stonewalled and Trump doesn't get a lot of shit done, Democrats are going to win again. That's just how that's how we work as Americans. We're here and we're here. We're here and we're here. Okay, we tried Trump. We really thought he was going to do it. He didn't get as much done as we thought. And then they're going to go. That's the mentality. If you're not a Politico, your mentality is, okay, that didn't work too well. Let's go to the next one and see how they do. It's only 4 years. It could be 8, blah, blah, blah. That's how it works. If the left gets in, if Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, AOC, the ones that they are going to run, get in, you're going to, this type of shit, all the things that he's talking about, the prices, the taxes, is what they want. Because they're pushing the globalist agenda over there with fucking Keir Starmer. They're doing it now. So, and Labor deserved to win in Britain because the conservatives sat on their fucking hands.
I was going to say, I don't think Labor won. Conservative lost.
Listen, Labor wants to go and drive and fully go. Conservatives just went to that little number 2 when you lean it in, and just the engine was revving the whole time, but it was still going in the way the progressives wanted. Okay, so the conservative parties, the Tories, deserve to lose. They had fucking 16 years to get it done, and they did nothing. So this is our future. So the thing is, that's why I keep on saying, don't get complacent. continue to be active. It is exhausting, but the leftists don't quit. We can't get tired either. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry about that.
And then there was the inheritance tax business. Honestly, I don't know where to start. I know you've heard a lot about it today, and I'm not going to dwell on that. I will just say this. Rachel Reeves has told us, what is it, 72%? 72% of farms are going to be unaffected by this. I've just been interviewed by Victoria Derbyshire for Newsnight. Let's see if we can educate her here, if she's still around, Victoria. How many people here, if you'd raise your hands, are from a family farm? I want to see, right. I hope you can see that. I hope we've got our cameras from the show up high to see. That's a lot of hands. Now, keep them up, and I want you to lower them if you think, and you've had time to work this out, you think you're going to be unaffected by the changes to APR and BPR. Put your hands down if you're going to be unaffected. Thank you. My case rests. I want Newsnight to see that. She was trotting out. Nobody's affected. Rachel Reeves says so. Since when was the BBC the mouthpiece of this infernal government?
Yeah. Absolutely huge rally over there in England for the farmers. Now, if you don't know, the Labour government's rolling out inheritance tax on farmers, where I believe it was over $1 million on your farm. If you spend, or you have assets over $1 million on your farm, and you were to give it to your son, inheritance, they will tax you on that, and they will tax you a lot on that. And they're trying to act like it won't actually affect a lot of people, but it has been shown that most of these farmers, even with a small plot of land, are way over $1 million.
And the thing is, too, it's like Jeremy's a person that he needs to. He's getting involved. He's getting more active. Obviously, now he has that fucking show on the farm, which is fantastic.
Clarkson Farm.
Yeah, but the thing is, he needs to run for office. He needs to join Reform, and he needs to run because he would win. He would win. He would be an MP. Yeah. And he obviously is a person that has conviction, isn't afraid to be a leader. The man has had a ton of success in his life, has always been himself, and was never afraid to be whoever he was, whether it was on Top Gear, whether it was on the tour, whether it was on any of it. So
and the thing
he's
is,
someone that needs to get involved.
He doesn't want to, but I can't remember who it was on Lotus Eaters.
It's the ones that don't want to are the ones that need to.
But yeah, I was gonna say I can't remember who it was on Lotus Eaters, but they said that he's going on his hero's journey arc right here, where he's refusing the call, but eventually he accepts the call, and then he goes and he actually saves Britain. I would love that to happen, but we'll see. Nate saying, one of my best buds moved to England. When I sent the Trump robot video to my group chat, I told him not to click it so he doesn't go to jail. Yeah. And the worst part is, Nate, you were joking most likely, but it could really be an issue. It could really be an issue for him with, I believe it's in the thousands of non-criminal hate crime visits. It's actually just kicked off pretty big, because I believe it's Allison Pearson. If I get the name wrong, I'm sorry. But she was visited for a tweet, and she was visited by police saying, like, it's not a crime, but you can't really say that. Like, it's kind of like it's a bad thing to say. Really just checking your thinking. And it's now been a consistent thing in Britain. It's something that everyone needs to think about in Britain, which is awful, which is actually how a totalitarian state happens. Totalitarian, sorry. But I'm hoping that Clarkson can kind of get some ball rolling on this stuff, because Britain needs saving bad. They're in a really bad spot. The Tories are awful. The Labour is worse, to be quite well, depending on who you ask, but they're both of them are terrible, and Reform's not doing much better with what's Nigel Farage has been saying.
It looks like
recently.
Reform's a fraud.
Yeah.
It looks
and
like
Nate's saying,
Reform
yeah,
is
it's in the
just
thousands.
Tories.
Exactly. It's in the thousands of police visiting just for you tweeting or messaging
Reform
something.
is just the Tories. and they are the Tories in wolf's clothing. It looks like it really is shaping up to be that way.
I hope it's not going to be that way. I hope not. But you're right. Right now, it's
not
trending
MAGA.
at. Yeah, it's not. It's not at all.
It's not even the Tea Party.
No.
I mean, and that's the issue. And it's like you're looking at this is Pierre Poilievre, like Nigel Farage is Pierre Poilievre in Canada, where we'll really bark sometimes, but then when you really need him, it's just going to stay mum and play the game. Because the thing is, Nigel's an MP now. Nigel's going to want to continue to be an MP. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. MP, that's a cush life. You're going to be in the government. That is cush. He's not going to fuck that up.
Yeah.
Like, everyone needs to be honest with themselves. Nigel Farage is not going to fuck up being an MP now.
Yep.
And he's going to be prime minister probably. I could see Nigel Farage getting there.
He possibly could, but I don't know. It would take a lot of work, especially a third party. You know, it's the same thing in America. People don't just vote for another party. They're stuck in their ways.
Yeah, but he'll coalition. That's the thing with those parliaments. He'll get enough Tories on his side.
Maybe
he would get enough Tories because he whatchamacallit? He was at the Tory. He was at the conservative. Whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
He was at the conservative rally, like their PAC version there. It's not like he doesn't have a lot of allies there. And reform is very similar to the sense where MAGA and the Republicans have a very similar philosophy, right?
In some ways,
some ways, that more populist versus more central. It's a similar thing where they all would sit there. I would rather walk on the road with you than on the road with them, right? That's still kind of that similar philosophy. So I can certainly see that. He can get enough allies, and they'll create a government, because between reform and that thing, they'll be able to create a government. And I feel like he's thinking in this way that he needs to win goodwill from some in the left, because that's the thing. That's the difference in Britain and in all these other more direct democracy style parliamentary ones, the percentage democracies. They do have to be cognizant of being able to form a government. Because if you get a percentage, and then you still need to be able to form that government. I don't know what the exact threshold is, but you have to be able to get a coalition and a percentage to be able to form a government. Otherwise, you get your vote of no confidence, and you have to do it all over again.
Yep.
Where in America, you force coalitions, which is why I'm a big proprietor of the two-party system. Because our system is you force the coalition, the winner sits there for 4 years at a minimum. You gotta fucking figure it out. And the coalitions battle within each other, right? Like the right is everyone's in chaos. They're always in chaos. That's why there's different caucuses in the House and the Senate, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Nigel Farage is playing for the prime minister right now, and he's trying to figure out how he can form his government, who he needs to throw bones to. That's just what I'm seeing early on now.
That's what you hope. And I do agree with Nate here. I hope Jeremy Clarkson can finally get that pendulum swinging. It feels like the insane left destroyed the pendulum in England. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And not on, but they got help with it though, because the conservatives helped them destroy it. That's the thing.
They didn't do anything.
Yes. In fact, they just helped
besides
along the progressive agenda.
Besides let more illegal immigrants into their country than Labor ever did in its history.
Yep. Fucking boat people.
Terrible.
So we're going to continue on from this, hoping, Jeremy Clarkson can get England in top gear. Get it? But
I hate you.
We're going to move on to some entertainment stuff, some gaming and movie things. John Trent, who we had on the show, very good. Over on Fandom Pulse now, which is awesome for him.
Yes.
But he had an article come out where retail pre-orders for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle over 86% worse than Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which I believe the Veilguard, I saw it was at 10,000 people playing right now. So it has dropped fucking crazy.
Considerably.
And what we're seeing, because I haven't seen anything about this Indiana Jones game that's egregious. I do think it's kind of weird for him to be, I think it's a good amount of it is in first person. I may be incorrect. But it's weird to have an Indiana Jones game in first person. That would make no sense. I want to see him. But I think it's really just showing where a lot of AAA gaming is. Where if something doesn't actually capture an audience and have them hype for it, they're just not going to fucking care about it anymore. The ease of access to getting a PC, to getting a PC, to getting all of these things have been lowered to a degree where a lot of people have access to many more indie games and many more titles where they don't have to spend $70, $80 for something in order to play it. in order to play something they think might be good. And a lot of these games that AAA companies make now look generic as fuck. They're not. There's not a lot of creativity, and the game is what 8 hours long, maybe 10 hours long, but there's just not much to it.
And the
Okay,
thing
there's some
is-
action and there's some adventure and then whatever.
And the thing is, when they make these games based off of like movie franchises and stuff like that, they never end up working out the mechanics well in a lot of ways. Like Star Wars, you could do Star Wars is fucking saber fights, it's sword fights, right? Like that's like magical powers and sword fights you could do.
Well, they can't do that actually. They
They
did it
used to be
terribly.
able to.
Yeah.
But Indy's a normal guy. And to make an already established character do things out of his norm that maybe works in a movie, but probably not going to work very well on, because here's the thing. Indiana Jones is just fucking Nathan Drake, right? Like if we're being honest.
Well, Nathan Drake is just Indiana Jones.
Agreed, but I'm just saying we've already seen this.
But
seen
yeah, I was just about to say that. We had Uncharted.
We've seen this. We had Uncharted. That was Indy, and that he's significantly younger. I don't know if this is older or younger version of Indy, but still, like,
Believe younger.
But regardless, we already have this. So unless you're going to make something that's different and blows Uncharted out of the fucking water, which is difficult because Uncharted is a incredibly good, beloved franchise, there's no point to this. Because number one, it's not even a money grab. Because how many indie fans who are generation before us, it's our parents, are going to fucking play this? Like, I like Indiana Jones. I've watched them all for the most part. I didn't watch the Dial Dysentery because it looked terrible.
Yeah, why would you?
No, it was awful. And
there's only 3 of them anyway.
Because the Crystal Skull.
No, there's only 3 of them. There's only 3.
Exactly. It's Rings of Power there. Anyway, but who is this for? The gamers are not going to give a shit about this because Indiana Jones is not a big name in this generation. It is going to flop, and it deserves to flop because they picked a fucking stupid franchise to do it with. Just make another Uncharted. Like,
well, and the thing is they
make
can't
another
though. They can't do this shit anymore because they don't have the writers to do it. They don't have the creative to do it. HR is on their back. They go to the worst consulting ever. So they cannot make good games anymore. People need to realize this. A lot of these companies cannot make good games anymore. At the most, they can make mid games that buy you time, not games that you'll fucking remember. So we need to start ditching a lot of these companies because they simply will not make memorable experiences that we've had in the past. It's just not a thing anymore.
And the major issue is they've lost so much goodwill that even if they do make a fucking banger of a game, there's too many people that are going to sit there and look at it and go, I'm not going to play an Ubisoft game. I don't care how good it is.
Yeah.
They suck. Or I'm not going to play X, Y, and Z. I don't care. Like
Blizzard, Actor, yeah.
Exactly. I'm not going to play some of these games. Bethesda's quickly heading down that road, right? I'm not going to play a game by these developers because they have burned me so many times that I'm not going to do it anymore. And it could end up being an amazing game, right? The only thing that can save Bethesda is if they make a new banger Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
That is the only thing. And if they do it and they hit, they'll gain another decade of goodwill, right? Because Skyrim has won them a decade of at least.
Well, it's because they keep re-releasing Skyrim in every possible
and
manner.
Great. And it's great. Listen, Skyrim is one of the best games of all time. I don't blame them with the bugs and all. It's amazing. But it's like you're looking at these devs and going, and that's the thing. They could be great. And G&G can come out and say, it's actually really fucking good. I don't mind it. It's still not going to pop because people are tired of their bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. People are tired. Listen, Astro Boy, for all intents and purposes,
Astrobot.
should have been Astrobot. Sorry. Astrobot should have been played by everybody. It is an amazing platformer and it is lots of fun. Nobody played it. Number one, platformers are dead. Nobody gives a shit about platformers anymore. And number two, nobody really wants to support Sony that much. Those two combinations, and streamers played the shit out of that game. People saw how fun it was, how it came to life, and all the great things, all the Easter eggs from all the great PlayStation franchises we remember, right? Nobody cared.
Yep.
Nobody cared. And it can, all intents and purposes, win Game of the Year. If it wins, I wouldn't be shocked. It's a great game. Nobody gave a shit because people don't want to support Sony. Besides their fanboys, nobody else wants to support them.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, their fanboys are making them billions of dollars, but not enough. Not enough for them to keep justifying their bullshit because they're not getting the outside gamer, which are now, look at fucking DEI, what was it? DEI revealed or DEI
fuck.
Inspected or
Oh, Jesus Christ. DEI detected. Thank you.
DEI detected.
There.
400,000 strong. That's billions of dollars.
Yep.
Right there. Right there. Now imagine that. I'd imagine that same group of people are the same people that are tired of Sony shit, that are tired of Blizzard shit, that are tired of. It's the same group of people that are tired of all these people's fucking shit. So maybe not all 400,000 won't play. Maybe 100,000 of those people don't play that new Sony game. Don't play that new Ubisoft game. Okay, what's 100,000 times 70? That's how much money you just fucking lost.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a huge block of people that are just not going to. This indie game could be amazing. No one's going to care.
Yep.
And that's just, and it's a sad truth.
And Nate's asking, is it starring Phoebe Waller-Bridges? No. That's the Lara Croft show that's gonna have her. Well, no, she's not in it. I think she's writing or
and
whatever.
Nate, even if it was starring Phoebe Waller-Bridges, it would be the ugliest, manliest version of her you could possibly make. And she's already. I'm not gonna be mean to Phoebe Waller-Bridges. She's not ugly, but she's not hot. Okay,
Not great looking.
She's very mid. She's an
Not great.
average-looking woman. Phoebe Waller-Bridges is average. Okay,
She looks like she does comedy.
Potential, yes, yeah. But
well, that's what she tries to do.
Yeah, and she did write a pretty damn good show. From all I know, from what I've heard, her show that she did was good.
Fleabag,
Yeah,
or something like
I
that.
heard it was an entertaining show. People
It
like that
sounds like
show.
it's fucking bad. To be quite honest with you, people that watch a lot of TV seem to like it, but I also don't necessarily trust them in their
That's
analysis all the time.
But
So-
there was a audience for her at one point with
Yeah.
that, and that is more of like the dark comedy style, from what I understand.
But it's also
Fleabag.
not Indiana Jones or Lara Croft.
And the thing is, so it's like it's gonna be bad. And the thing is, it deserves. And even if it's good, no one's gonna give a shit.
Mhm.
You know, that's it. Because they don't deserve it.
And Alex, you just sent me this, so we'll go right to it.
Yeah, real quick, because I thought this was interesting. About
A
the
real
FEMA
quick
stuff that I
update,
talked
Rep
about.
James Comer. My staff just made contact with a new whistleblower who provided a credible account that a FEMA contractor visited a home of an elderly disabled veteran's family around October 10th. While there, he recommended that the family remove Trump campaign materials and signs from their house and yard, stating that his FEMA supervisors view Trump supporters as domestic terrorists. The elderly homeowners were so frightened by this and afraid that they would not recover their loss if they removed the signs. Nevertheless, FEMA has not returned to their residence. This took place not in Florida, but Georgia.
And this was from 5:16 p.m. today that he
Yes.
got this update.
Yes.
And this kind of corroborates the second interview that, or maybe one of the others that the original woman did, where she said they do a team system where if one person is in fear, nobody goes. And
Yeah,
that's
and-
meant to be if there's a threat, if there's someone's racist, if there's a fire, a weapon,
Well-
a dog, someone doesn't like a dog, the whole team can't go.
I will say
Same
her
system.
thing's a bit vague, but
This is very specific.
if this is correct, and I can see it being correct that they view Trump supporters as domestic terrorists, because when it comes to our FBI, they do view Trump supporters as domestic terrorists.
And
that is just the thing that they view them as.
Biden
So
basically said it in how many speeches, including
this
the
would
red
not
fucking sermon.
This would not be a surprise to me at all.
And Comer's been pretty good about all this shit too when it comes to the whistleblower stuff and
Mhm.
things like that. So we'll see what comes of it. And again, nothing will come of it.
Yep.
Because Democrats did it and nothing ever comes to Democrats. I hope it changes with this administration. But let's go back to our entertainment stuff. I just thought that was
Yes.
interesting with the update.
Geeks and Gamers put this out. The first teaser trailer for How to Train Your Dragon live action movie. You know what? I'm going to put this at 2 times.
Do
And
you
we're
think
gonna-
that will make a difference, or
Yeah,
should we not
pause
pause
it
the
a-
volume?
I'm going to pause it a bit. We can see here at Cliffside. That is, what's his name?
Hiccup.
Hiccup.
Yep.
He looks, at least, I
Hiccup
never
looks fine.
watched it, but he looks
Hiccup,
good.
The only comment I did see is
some
everything looks like
this
cosplay, but that's
This
not.
looks like the clip of the Star Wars sequels where they find Luke.
I actually thought it kind of looked like a curled up snail. Anyway,
I guess.
Who's
that?
Gerard Butler as his father, whose name is Stoic. Gerard Butler actually voiced Stoic in the How to Train Your Dragon movies.
Oh, wow.
So it's
So that
pretty
works.
fucking cool to bringing
Yeah.
him back because it's like a legitimate, authentic.
Yep.
The one that played Hiccup is too old. He's not Justin Long, but the guy I always mistake for Justin Long that also is a nerdy motherfucker and always plays the nerdy role in
I don't
all
know.
those type of rom-coms.
I don't know.
He okay, let's continue. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he in Dodgeball?
Yes.
No, the guy in Dodgeball.
No. That's Justin Long. He's the other one that's not Justin Long.
Fuck. Oh wait. No. I might be able to find him. Hold on.
I'm looking up How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
It's the easiest way.
All right. That's pretty cool. That lighting. Is this accurate?
It looks pretty fucking close. So I do have to say,
this is just going to be me asking that the whole fucking time because I know nothing.
Jay Bartshell.
Jay Bart. Okay, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, you do. If you see him, he was in She's Out of My League. This Is the End. Sorcerer's Apprentice. He was the main one with Nick Cage there. Tropic Thunder. He was the one nerdy motherfucker in Tropic Thunder.
Okay, yeah, I know him then. I know him then.
Yeah, he was in. Yeah. He's in. He always plays that nerdy insecure dude.
Yep.
He's great at it.
Yep.
He was in Goon. Oh, he was in Goon?
I can't kill dragons.
I didn't notice that.
You can't kill dragons, Alex.
No, and that's Hiccup's thing. That's all. Real quick. Premise, Dave. The Vikings are basically, they're at war with the dragons. Every time they see a dragon,
he makes friends.
one of them,
Yeah, he makes friends with the dragon.
But the thing is, if you're a Viking, you kill dragons. That's it. That's it. The whole people. It's a rite of passage.
Yes.
His father, Stoic, is the leader of the Viking encampment and is like the most badass motherfucker there. Hiccup is not his father at all. He's a nerd. He's an inventor. He doesn't want to kill dragons.
Yes.
And then he befriends Toothless. Blah, blah, blah.
What do you think about how the dragons look?
Good. The CGI, listen, Universal and DreamWorks, this CGI is fantastic. I will say that.
Okay.
The CGI looks really good. The dragons look good. Toothless looks incredible. Let's keep going.
But you.
Gerard Butler looks awesome there.
The guy looks like Santa.
A little bit. But Gerard Butler's great. I'm happy he's in this role because it makes it really good. Yep. This is him trying to kill Toothless. Yes.
Okay. No, he's kind of cute.
That's the thing. And he looks, and someone did, me and Julie watched this earlier, and they did like a comparison of there's one scene, and you'll see it in the scene where he goes and wants to touch Toothless's nose, and Toothless is letting him, but it's a very touch and go. They do a side by side. It's almost identical. They did a really good job to hit the big moments. I don't know about the rest of the movie, but it looks like they hit the big moments. Let's keep going.
Some green ass eyes.
Yeah, Toothless is and that's kind of he's a Night Fury dragon, and that's kind of the MO of the Night Fury. They're black, but they have the green eyes, and people remember their green eyes, and because they can't see them because they're shadows.
Should have been Red Eyes Black Dragon.
No, they would have gotten Japanese people are very touchy about their properties. And the thing is too, like the mannerisms of Toothless are really good because Toothless, they do make him have that little like doggish mannerisms, that puppy-ish. So it's, again, trailer was good. Yeah, he's like, "What up, bro?" All right, let's keep going.
It's okay. I won't hurt you.
And again, he kind of has that nerdy-ish, wimpy look to him. It's like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid style kid.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going a little bit. And this is the scene that is almost identical.
One by one, yeah.
One by one. Really good. Like, really well done there, where he's terrified. Toothless embraces him.
Yep.
Now, I'm curious. I'm curious because there's a lot to it where the dichotomy of their relationship and the back and forth is very touch and go for a while. And like, it's going to be difficult to do it because cartoons are very difficult to translate.
Yes.
It at least looks like moment wise, they're doing their best for now. Again. And now it's just How to Train Your Dragon. Okay. And that's it.
Cool.
So if you were a How to Train Your Dragon fan and you only watched that trailer, like my wife and I did initially, cool. Like I was actually excited. I'm like, fuck, I want to go see this because this looks like they are attempting to at least, and nerds, what do nerds want? We want you to try to stick to the lore as much as possible. We understand you will have to take liberties. We get it, but we just don't want your liberties to be egregious. And we want you to try and respect the source. This trailer makes it look very much like they are trying to respect the original DreamWorks property. But let's go back to our buddy John Trent.
Culture Crave puts this out. First look at Nico Parker as Astrid in the live-action How to Train Your Dragon film, and John F. Trent asks, "Where's Astrid?"
So
Now,
for everyone that needs to know, I don't know if you looked this up. I'm going to show people who Astrid is.
yeah, go ahead,
Train Your
bring it
Dragon.
up. But
give me a second.
John F. Trent tweeted this in response, and it was hidden by Culture Crave. So they obviously didn't like that. And if they're doing that to John F. Trent, they're probably doing that to a lot of comments that probably came in after they put this, hiding all the comments that are wondering about this casting as Astrid. And I do want to do this because Grums did respond to this as well, the same post, and Savvy did as well. And I want to show theirs. Grums saying here, "I want to separate the actor from the studio choice here for live action How to Train Your Dragon."
Agreed.
She's probably going to do a great job in the role. We don't know that, but we'll give her that.
Yeah, yes.
The studio here made a conscious choice, and that choice is the problem. There is only one reason to make this kind of completely unnecessary switch, and it rhymes with sly. It's yet another cringe virtue signal for cheap points that I hope doesn't creep into the writing and ruin the film. Now go ahead and show Astrid.
So this is Astrid from the movie.
Yep.
Now, and here's the thing too, and this is also why it doesn't fit. This is not the place to race swap. They are Nordic Vikings. Nordic Vikings are historically really white.
Yes.
Not just white.
Yes.
Very white. This is not the place to do it. Like, here's the thing. Everyone was pissed about Ariel. Ariel's a fucking mermaid. Okay, if you're gonna race swap, that maybe is a place to do it. Now, there's definitions, there's history and lore.
Still really silly. Still
I
really
understand the
silly.
silliness.
It's still
but if
really
you're going
silly.
to do it, doing it with the mermaid, fantasy creature, right? This is a group of people that they are basically analogous to a group of people that exist. They say we are Vikings, like they say it. The Nordic Vikings, your Greenland Vikings, are incredibly white.
These are also people that don't care about that though, because they made Anne Boleyn a black woman.
Agreed.
Come
But
on.
and I think that's the thing too. It's not just the established work of How to Train Your Dragons, but this is a quite literal history of these people that they were just going, meh, don't care.
Yeah, but this happened consistently, and it's
It
always
always
it's been a problem consistently.
It is a problem. All right, Dave, you can.
And I do want to share, because Savvy posted in the same thing with the Grums one. The left voice actors need to look like the character they're voicing, or else that's racist and taking away roles from people. Also, the left. Why are you complaining about a race swap? What are you, racist? And that's the thing. That's always the argument. Why are you complaining? Why does it matter so much? But it matters to them a lot.
Oh, and
It
it's also
matters
it always
to them a
matters.
lot.
Do you remember
So-
when Scarlett Johansson was
Yes.
going to play, I think, a
Goes-
trans
yeah.
person?
Yeah.
And they flipped out, and good for her, where she's just like, obviously she's an idiot. She made that stupid video, but at that time she was like, "Fuck you, I'm an actress. That's what I do."
Yep.
And it's like, again, they talk out of one side, but then they talk out the other as well. That's how leftists always do it.
Yep. Yeah. And we'll see what happens with this movie. It's just never a good move when they do this.
And here's the thing: this chick could play the shit out of the role.
Yeah,
be a
110%.
really good Astrid, and do the part justice, and at least respect the character in terms of her mannerisms. And I agree,
But it's
I'm
still not Astrid.
knocking her as an actress.
Yeah.
She's not Astrid.
Yeah, it's
She's
still not Astrid.
I'm not knocking her. She may be a talented actress. She
Yeah.
might play the role well. This is the studio. This is the people, and this is also why I now will not go see the movie. This is enough for me to wait for it. To stream. Me and my wife were very willing to take my two kids and go and pay that theater the $100+ fucking dollars, when more than that, when it's all said and done, for
Christ.
tickets, popcorn, drinks, candy, and everything, doing all that. We were more than willing to support this studio until this. Because then this begs the question, what else?
Yeah, what else is in the
What else
movie?
have you changed?
Yes.
If you're willing to change something so fundamental to the point where Astrid is incredibly important.
Yes.
If you think Hiccup is the main character and Gerard Butler Stoic is probably the second main, she is right there. They're the trinity of characters that are important to the whole entire thing. And she
Where's
becomes
Toothless in that?
Well, Toothless steals the show. Okay, Toothless is Toothless. But I'm talking about talking roles.
Yes.
And she becomes more important to the second movie. So it's like you're now adding a character who's integral to these two movies. And my biggest gripe is now when I go to fucking Epic Universe and I go to How to Train Your Dragon World, she's going to be there and not Astrid, because that's exactly why they're doing the live action, because that is what's going to be plastered all over there.
Yep.
And again, unfair to this actress. And I hate that they keep putting these fucking black females in this spot, because now it sits there, and now when we make this criticism, it's because we're racist, even though we're couching it as, and we're saying, hey, it's not against her. It's going to be as racist white people online, white men online who gatekeep are the problem. And it's like, no, you put this young lady in this position, and it's terrible that she has to be put here. Fuck her agent, fuck her parents if she's young enough. If she's an adult, fuck her agent and fuck that studio, because you guys are what's doing it. You guys are causing these problems. And I hope she goes on to have a great career doing really good roles, okay? If she acts well, I hope she does it and she earns it and she does her thing. But for this role, she was the wrong pick, and the studio is now going to add extra strife to this woman's life for no fucking reason.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's miserable. And you know, and it sucks. I don't want to criticize the person. I want to criticize studio, but you can't criticize the studio for the role without also criticizing her.
Yeah.
It walks hand in hand.
And the thing is, and all those people that want to make the claim that someone's racist for complaining about this are people who should have been gate kept from all these fucking hobbies, because you're obviously a goddamn tourist. You're obviously not a nerd for this shit. You obviously don't care about these properties as much as the people that are complaining. You can shut the fuck up and get the hell out of these proproperties, because we're tired.
I enjoyed this movie and watched it multiple times. I know the lore. I fucking detailed everything that went on in that trailer and what parted and why I was impressed by the trailer. And the thing is, if you only see the trailer, you're going to be sucked in to watch this. If you're not like me and you, who do venture the Geeks and Gamer spaces, or know John Trent, things like that, or people like JDA and shit like that, the ones that are blowing the whistles on this type of stuff, Smash JT gets credit for that as well. Then you're not going to know, and you're going to go there and you're going to be like, wait, who the fuck is that? And you know, maybe you could look by it. Maybe you're like, whatever, it's not that important to you. That's fine. If that's not that important to you, then go see the movie. Not going to tell you not to go see the movie. But this is the type of thing where I hope it's done well, but I also hope it flops in the movies and it streams and they learn they're not going to learn a lesson, but I hope they do learn a lesson when they lose money. I hope this movie loses money now. When it looked like they did well. And this sucks, because this is the first time DreamWorks has dropped the ball in years. Because DreamWorks has been stellar. Bad Guys and Puss in Boots and, you know, all the things that they've done well over the past few years. This is now a black eye.
Yep.
So, all right.
So we're going to move on.
Let's roll on to our last thing.
We're going to move on to our last thing, which is unfortunately not a white pill.
No.
Sony is in talks to acquire Kadokawa. Deal could be closed in coming weeks. This is fucking terrible. Kadokawa is from software. Kadokawa does a lot of anime and manga. Kadokawa is in charge of a lot of fucking things. And if Sony is to acquire it, we are seeing that all go downhill.
So how can we at Kadokawa?
We wouldn't be the only ones.
Can we start a campaign?
We wouldn't be the only ones.
Where we all at Kadokawa and say, please no. If you care about any of the properties that you helped us know,
before
love,
you need
and
a
enjoy.
PSN account to watch anime.
But it's like, if you care about any of the properties that you have brought to us that you know that we love, for the love of God, you guys know that you are selling to Satan.
Yep. And
don't
also
do this.
Chibi Reviews right here puts it in more perspective. Sony is trying to buy Kadokawa. To put this into perspective, they currently own Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Right Stuff. For the last half decade, they have been buying up the anime and manga market to gain a monopoly. If they acquire Kadokawa, they won't just own major light novel distribution, but also major anime studios. On top of that, they'll own a majority of From Software, aka Dark Souls gaming studio. Sony is also the same company that has been actively censoring their gaming department, and their recent Concord failure. This is the worst news for anime and manga fans. Legit, this could destroy what we know and love if this goes through. And I will say, not could, it will. Because 100%. If people have been complaining about localization already, we're going to see it fucking worse if Sony actually buys Kadokawa.
People have been complaining about Crunchyroll since Sony bought it and how much it's gone fucking downhill, and it has. Crunchyroll's awful right now. Like Crunchyroll's not the same. You know, it's terrible, to be quite honest.
And the reason and Sony wants to buy up all this shit because Sony is actually terrible at what's fucking doing right now. Concord being one of the most recent big examples, but people have been going to the East for their entertainment for a while now because the West is so fucking shit at this stuff. And Sony deciding to buy this, I know Sony's not Western, but I'm saying it has
now
enough.
They are. Yeah,
it is.
But they have bases in fucking Canada and LA, San Francisco, whatever it is.
That
they
is
moved
true.
out of Japan completely.
Yeah,
or wherever they're fucking from.
But it's still gonna have this huge fucking effect where we're gonna have less and less places to go because these people will not stop their nonsense of oppressive ideology and shoving it down everyone's fucking throat.
All those obscure envelope pushing manga and anime that we love are going to go by the wayside because Sony is not going to like the way they push it.
Yep.
They are going to censor a lot of things and they are going to stifle the creation of a lot of mangaka. Because they are going to sit there and say, hey, if you want to have your light novel published anymore, you have to remove X, Y, and Z. Could you imagine if Alice in Borderlands was created through them and they did not absolutely focus full chapters on the trans character and how important they are and how important their transness is?
They would have ruined the story.
And not just the fact that,
hey, they would have ruined the story.
And not just the fact that this trans character exists. This is their backstory. And now they are an important and integral part to the rest of the story without shoving in your face every moment trans, to the point where the trans character, who is actually still a pretty fucking manly guy, like you makes fun of the guys for like liking the way they look, like make funny jokes. And it's like, could you imagine if Sony had control and was over the mangaka's shoulder going, we don't like that joke that trans character made. We thought that was transphobic. You can't have that.
Yep.
And it's like, they're going to do that type of shit. And like I said, one of the reasons people love manga and anime, and the reason I tell people are like, I'm not really into it. I'm like, there's a manga for everybody. There won't be soon. There won't be soon. There will be just
it'll be slop. It'll be
the
slop.
same shit.
Yes.
It'll be and thing that people hate about shonens, where it's basically all the same except for twists. Take shonen, but just make it even more tropey and none of the tropes that make it actually interesting. Because Minata from My Hero Academia won't exist. Master Roshi never exists. Jiraiya won't exist in the same way. They will not. The creepy sex crazed person won't exist, which is always a trope. The girl boy, the girl boy villain won't exist, right?
Yeah.
The girly boy villain, because I'll be making fun. Like all of these things that are typically Japanese tropes as well won't exist.
Yeah.
You want your curvy fucking anime women still drawn? Nope. If you're a person that likes the one beach episode, not going to be around. Like the Necessary Beach episode's not going to be there. Like all of these things are going to go away. If you like your ecchi, if you like your harem, gone. Not going to be around. Your violent, gory seinen, gone. Like those, they are going to milk toast and they are going to do to manga and anime what they did to video games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hate that. That's another thing that pisses me off because you and I both know me and you are giant fucking people at manga and anime. We have been ingesting this our whole lives. And we've been some of the rare people that have openly enjoyed it. Which before it was cool to really like manga and anime, me and you were the ones that openly liked the manga and anime throughout middle school, high school, everything. Did not have any fear of telling people we liked it, read it, watched it, right?
Yeah.
This is going to now sit there and it's going to become a Me Too thing. Because it's going to be easy for everyone to ingest and it's going to be so lame.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's fucking bad. I hope Kadokawa says no. I hope somehow they say no to this because I know Sony's throwing them a huge amount. I know they are.
Dude, there's billions involved.
Yes, but I hope they say no for whatever reason. I really hope they
of
do.
the East and the West to unite.
Yeah. Yeah.
The autists of the East and the West and everywhere. South America, which loves their anime manga. Europe's not as crazy about it, but they do have a good following in Europe. Like manga and anime is everywhere now.
Cartel stopped fighting when Akira Toriyama died.
Yes, they did.
It's like legitimate. They actually stopped fighting.
Dude, nowhere Dragon Ball, it might be more famous in South America than Japan. I'm not going to lie. Like it really, South America, Dragon Ball is a fucking way of life. Mexico is insane with Dragon Ball. Like here's the reason. They don't care about the American dubs. They want to make sure those fucking Spanish dubs are on point. Because that is their biggest market outside of Japan.
Yes. But
in manga and anime. Yeah, no, this would suck.
Yeah.
This is just as bad if Disney goes through and buys Dragon Ball rights.
Yeah,
which they've been wanting to do.
Yeah. Sorry to share to end this on a black pill.
Yep, very.
But
black
that
pill.
is where we're at, unfortunately. There will be an update whether or not the deal comes through. I will share that whenever it happens.
If you are hearing this and if you care, at Katagawa and say to them, hey, we love your properties. We enjoy your video games. Please do not sell to Sony. They are not a company that we believe in. And be respectful. Don't be a dickhead. Be respectful and just say, hey, we like you guys to have it. We do not believe Sony is going to take the same care and love for the products that you have given us throughout the years. Please do not do this. We will promise to bring you more gamers and viewers to make this worth your while. We will attempt to make up in product. We will buy more of your products. Like pledge to buy more so that you can make up the cost of whatever Sony was going to sell them.
Yeah, it's shitty, man. It's shitty. I hate seeing that. Like I said, I'm just hoping.
We need to start trying to find the White Pill story tonight to like end.
I tried to most of the time, but that one
we're kind of in up shit's creek without a paddle. We have
that was a pretty big one.
The long range missiles, Nancy Mace being threatened. The Jets are the Jets. Hey, White Pill. Nets won tonight, 116 to 115.
They did. I watched that.
And Cam Johnson went off. 34.
Trenyon Watford did as well. Trenyon
Watford, I think, scored like 20 something.
Yeah, he was crazy in the fourth. But
Ben Simmons finally got to double digits.
Dude, honestly,
he scored 10 points.
He's been playing decently well.
Ben Simmons, when Ben Simmons plays, his impact is less on the stat sheet right now. He plays good defense.
Yep.
And there are two legitimate point guards that do a run fast offense with him and Dennis Schroeder. So whoever gets the rebound, if Ben gets the rebound, the offense goes. If Schroeder gets the ball, him or Ben can both run the offense. It is dynamic. Ben's never going to be a stat stuffer anymore.
I'm fine with that.
His triple doubles.
I'm with that.
His triple doubles will be 10 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. He'll score. He'll have more of those. Okay. I'm not saying he can't get to that point. We don't need him to be dominant. His impact on the game is lock down the best wing and potentially the best defender.
Yep.
Because that was his role in Philly too. Their best player shut him down. Fourth quarter, shut him down. When we're playing Boston, whoever he's going to hinder Tatum or Brown, whoever he's on. So he's not going to stop them. You don't stop them, but he will hinder them and make their life difficult. That's his role. And he can be very good at it. He's a pussy. And that's the problem. Okay. He's a modern age basketball player.
Oh man, it's White Pill though. White Pill Nets won.
My back twinged, but I had to sit out another 3 months. I felt the back twinge.
Fuck off, dude. Take a shot and play. Anyway, so White Pill Nets won, but Ben Simmons is still on the team. Anyway, yeah. Outside of that, we've went 2.5 hours, 2:06 in the morning. It's been a good time, Dave. It's been a good time. A nice way to send you off on 2 days of work. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be doing a normal show. And I'm not going to say, I'm going to go through the whole entire, a lot of people do. I'm not going to say the guest just in case they don't come. But if we do have the guest that we are having on, it's going to be a really good show. So definitely go watch it. And then I will attempt to do, if I'm not exhausted, I will do a post show like this, like we've been trying to do the post shows. This is a post show from Talking in Ovals, because I did that one earlier, which was a great show. Again, track fans, if you're a running fan or track fan, go to Talking in Ovals on YouTube. We have fun there. Talk to a New Jersey legend today. Yeah. Thank everyone for watching. We appreciate it. It's late. YouTube, X, Facebook, Kick, all those places. Thank you. Go do all your due diligence there. If you're watching on the podcast, give us a rating. Anything less than 5 stars, and Dave will smear feces all over your house. And outside of that,